Hold on. My mom texted me. Fuck.
What?
I fucked up.
What?
I was taking out the trash before I left home.
Uh-huh.
But some fucking dumbass reason, I took it out. But I guess I forgot to actually take it out into the trash bin. So I just left it there with my dog, and my mom just sent me a picture. My mom sent me a picture of like my dog fucking destroying the whole bag. This is the second time it's happened.
Wait, let me get this straight. So you took out the bag
Yes.
but you left it out in the open?
Yes. And I even put the new bag inside the trash bin. Somehow I forgot to actually take out the trash. I just left it there.
Oh my god.
This is the second time it's happened.
Yeah, dogs are fucking like, they just know. They just know. Let me see the picture.
I just hope she didn't eat anything bad.
Oh my god.
I'm just gonna.
Dang, you got me worried for a second there. I thought you said, "Oh man, I gotta go." Actually,
I am actually a little bit worried now. She's eating worse. She's eaten like fucking chocolate donuts before, and she's fine.
Fair enough.
Supposedly
chocolate is like poison.
Yeah, she ate like fucking 4 donuts. I have no idea how she's fine.
The floor is yours, buddy.
Okay. All right. I'm surprised I'm not as nervous as I was expecting to do the intro. At first, when you first suggested it, I was like, fuck no, I don't want to do it. I'm scared.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but no, it's whatever. Okay. You're going to start laughing as soon as I...
No, I'm not.
Yeah, you are.
Stoic face. Go for it.
Okay. Hello and welcome to the second episode of the Deep Down Podcast. I am your host, Ed, and as always, I am also joined by my lovely co-host, Fabian. Fabian, you want to say something?
But he's so robotic.
Because I fucking wrote it out.
Hi. I was not expecting the introduction of this capacity. I thought we were just going to roll with it and just...
No, I'm not one to improvise.
Cool.
Okay. If you're not familiar with the format of the podcast, or if you simply forgot, I will offer a quick recap.
Oh my god, you're actually going all formal with this. Holy shit.
I want people to know. Maybe nobody watched the fucking 4-hour first episode.
I mean, by all means, if you want to.
Okay. Essentially, me and Fabian will meet up once a month to recommend each other a piece of media that the other is not familiar with. The media we recommend can range from video games, music, films, TV shows, anime, or books. Really, anything goes. Now, before we pick up where we left off on our previous episode,
Bro, you're making yourself laugh. What? What's so funny?
I'd like to thank our fans for
every single 100 individual fan that we have.
Hey, give them more credit, okay? I'd like to thank our fans for the incredible reception and encouragement we received.
We 100 views, 8 likes. No dislikes. We did it. We made it.
Fucking made it. Yeah, we received a ton of beautiful feedback and encouragement from our first episode. If it's okay with Fabian, I will now take a moment to read some of the wonderful comments some of you left on our first episode. All right, first one from Mr. Papa T. He says, "This might be the podcast of all time." You know what? That's very insightful. Thank you.
Yeah.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
I completely agree. Euchromia says, "This is the best thing ever made." 100%. If anybody nailed it, I think Euchromia nailed it.
Who the fuck can Euchromia?
I don't know. Some... I guess we have a secret admirer out there.
Uh-huh.
And last one, because we want to wrap this up super quick. Beto Garcia says, skull emoji.
Oh, yeah. Get used to that, buddy. He does that every time. Every single time.
Thank you, Beto Garcia. That really made me think a lot.
You know what this reminds me of? You seen that meme of like Obama giving like a medal to himself? That's what that reminds me of.
No, these are real people out there. These are not bots or anything like that. Uh-huh. Again, thank you guys for all the incredible and thoughtful words of encouragement. We really couldn't do this without you, and we are committed to improving every episode from the last. Now, back to the topic at hand. Last time, on our first episode, we went over our favorite media of the past year. It's quite a long episode, but I think it does a great job at showcasing each of our personalities and how we both approach art in different ways. we ended episode 1 with me recommending the manga Berserk to Fabian, and Fabian recommending the visual novel The House and Fata Morgana. That's all I have to say. Now we can transition over.
And now for our sponsors. Hikikomori, the branded clothes shop. You can buy clothes online.
Isn't that Bravo's brand?
Yeah.
I thought last time he posted anything was like 2 years ago.
Yeah, just happened. Don't worry
He's
about
bringing it back?
No. I mean, he updated the logo design, but he hasn't done anything with it. So, you know.
He's like Quadeca right now. He's like teasing Vanisher, but the only thing he's done is change his profile picture. Like, oh.
Yeah.
Okay. I would also like to thank Panda Express. We went over there right now. Currently holding an egg roll in my hand. I will be snacking throughout it. Sorry, Fabian.
Oh my god.
It's okay.
This is like ASMR video.
I'm a quiet chewer, I think.
You'll be surprised how much the mic can pick up.
That'll be fine.
But
okay. Who wants to go first? Because it sounds like you want to say a lot.
I think I want to hear more about. Okay, first of all, Ed, this month you went out of your way to Colorado.
Oh, yes, I went out of my way. I didn't stumble upon it.
Yeah.
I went out of my way to go.
No, you went out of your way to go.
I even took a plane to get there. I didn't just land
really?
there. Yes, else would I go?
Shit. Drive over there?
It's fucking far. It's like 12 hours.
Just walk over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to hear about that actually. What was your experience going to there? Actually, what was your experience being on a plane for the first time?
Okay, I'm going to start off with the plane thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a lot of people are scared of planes. I don't get it. I think it's fun. I had a lot of fun. What was really odd, so the flight itself was 2 hours. It actually went by super fast.
Really?
I felt like it went by super fast. And to be fair, there is like a weird, it's not weird. It's only like an hour difference from here to there. I think they are an hour behind. And I'm not sure, maybe that kind of tricked my brain a little bit, but it honestly felt like 1 hour. It might have just been like, we landed there, and then I saw 12 o'clock, and then I thought, oh shit, it was only 1 hour.
Did you do anything during the plane ride? Or?
I just had a playlist of Radiohead ready to go.
So basically what you do every day.
Yeah. I did my usual thing, plug my headphones in, just daydream.
Fair enough.
Yeah, it fucking flew by. I will say though, the flight back was a little bit scary because
of all the news that was happening with the...
No, because I think we got a shitty pilot. And okay, first of all, when we landed back, there's a bunch of thunderstorms in Houston. So it was already kind of shaky. The skies were already kind of shaky.
Yeah, you went there during like the whole snow
right.
period.
Yeah. And we got back as soon as like there was a thunderstorm going on. Yeah, so there was some turbulence. I experienced turbulence for the first time. No joke. So, have you ever felt turbulence?
I've never been on an airplane.
Okay.
So, no.
I would just say to evoke the feeling that turbulence gives you, to maybe get the message across what it feels like. I started contemplating my death. I started thinking, you know what? If I die, I'm happy right now. And
on a fucking plane back home.
Do you know what turbulence is?
Yeah, I know that. Obviously, but I can't imagine it because I've never experienced it.
Yeah, so before I've heard stories about it, and I always thought people were being dramatic when they talk about how scary it feels. Yeah, I didn't. Okay, so I wasn't scared per se. I was like, shit. If anything, I was just like, fuck. Well, if I die, I'm fucking dead. I started thinking about. I was like, fuck. Well, this is everything. So I've told people this right now before about this, but nobody seems to believe me. But I swear to God, I'm pretty sure I heard somebody crying while that was happening. I think.
But what made it so bad? What's so bad about turbulence?
It's just.
How does it feel?
It just starts the fucking plane starts shaking.
I have heard that your ears also pop when you're in the air.
Oh yeah, that's something my friends were preparing me for. It wasn't as bad as I was expecting. It's just the natural thing of naturally when you, oh my god, when you're going up in the air, something about gravity and then pressure, the air pressure. There we go.
G-force or some shit.
Well, I don't know if we're going on a fucking jet plane.
True.
It's not really. My friends gave me good tips. They're just try and crack your jaw. Just open it a little bit and then it should be okay. That's it, really.
I see.
If you just stretch your jaw, it's not really noticeable. It's a little bit trippy, but it's not, disorienting. Or I've heard stories of people who get sick and they start getting headaches and all this stuff.
Yeah, because your body's not used to being elevated that highly for that long period of time.
Speaking of Colorado itself, the state,
Uh-huh.
it's literally in a higher elevation in Houston.
Yeah, how did that feel?
So yes, I will say the number one thing, it's really fucking dry. Like, okay, number one thing I noticed when I got there, the sun is literally bigger, and it feels brighter. I'm serious, because you're literally higher up, and that leads to just getting dry really quick. Like, I needed a lot of moisturizer, so like my hands were getting dry super quick, so I was like moisturizing a lot. And also, the number one thing that I had to like constantly keep an eye on were my lips. My lips were constantly just drying up, so I had to like put a lot of like lip balm. But I mean, I kind of like it though because like this, it's like yeah, it's a cold state. However, because like since it's just the sun is literally stronger, it kind of balances out because
But does the heat feel as like as
no, because it's dry.
Oh, okay.
It's not like here where Houston.
Like the heat here is fucking miserable.
It's a fucking swamp.
Yeah.
So it feels nice actually when it's like really, it's like 40 degrees out there. Like yeah, that would be miserable over here, but like yeah, it's 40 degrees over there. However, the sun's a lot stronger, so it kind of balances out. Like if anything, you just need like a light sweater.
Yeah.
The only time it gets like really fucking cold is at night. That's because the sun's gone. But yeah, honestly, I really fucking like Colorado. I liked it a lot.
Yeah.
I want to move there now.
Really?
I fucking love it. Yeah.
But wait, you went there during like the snow period, right?
Yeah.
How bad did it get over there? Because over here, I'm not sure if you noticed, but we actually got snow for the first time.
I mean, when I came back, there was another. No, actually, no. It was no. I actually went the week right after the weekend of, so I still got to experience the snow here.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. I was here, so. Yeah, it's funny. My mom commented like, "Oh yeah, like you left the snow, just go straight to the snow again." And I was like, yeah. But yeah, so I got both ends of the spectrum, I guess.
How was it over there? Like,
it was really cool.
Yeah.
To be fair, it didn't snow that much. Like, there was only like one day where it actually like actively snowed, and that was our second day. But the thing is, like, even then, like, it's still cold, and also like the snow kind of lingers, so like, there's still a bunch of patches of snow, like that stuck around like 5 days later.
Yeah, it was the same thing here as well.
Yeah, I will say I don't remember much of what I did because I was intoxicated a lot of the time.
Really?
Which I guess I was kind of a learning lesson. Not because I had a bad experience, but more so like I guess I just want to cultivate memories more. Maybe I don't want to be intoxicated, so I can actually preserve those memories.
The thing about like getting drunk is that you have to like find the perfect balance that of being like kind of like tipsy, kind of like getting there, but not getting like blackout blasted or plastered. I mean. So
yeah, that's one thing I realized also. I'm gonna. So I didn't do anything crazy. Like I didn't get like fucked up, or I didn't do like whatever. Mm-hmm. But like I'm gonna keep alcohol over there.
Okay.
Well, I'm still like not against drinking or anything like that, but I'm not gonna let it be
at a minimum.
Right. I'm not gonna be actively doing it, because like I feel like just in general, not just related to drugs or anything like that. I'm the kind of person that not necessarily lacks self-control, but is like I'm just not good at realizing when enough is enough.
I mean, it was your first time, right?
Yeah.
What about your friends? Did they not like try to like moderate you?
If anything,
they encouraged it.
No. Like, we didn't get too fucked up. Like,
it was you and two other friends, right?
Yeah. Like the most we got fucked up was when we went to the bar, and then like, like one of them, he was like refusing to drink just the whole time, and afterwards, for reasons I'll get to, but he finally like let down his guard a little bit that night, and he got drunk too along with me. But luckily, you remember I told you like we have that one friend that used to be an alcoholic.
Yeah,
it's very ironic. So we went to the bar, and he's the one who said, "Okay, enough's enough. I'm taking you guys back to the hotel," because we were like fucked up, me and him. Which is, I remember it wasn't the bad kind of fucked up either. It was just we were just laughing a lot. I just felt really happy. Yeah, he was okay, guys. Enough is enough. I'm taking you guys back to the hotel, and it like that's probably my favorite memory from the trip. Is like just that drunk walk back to the hotel. Because we were just drunk and
all
like
three of you.
Yeah, well, okay. The one who was like keeping us chilled out, like well, first off, he was like the one like ordering the drinks for me, so because he's a lot more familiar with all that, But I just kept asking like, give me one more shot. I just kept asking for more shots over and over.
Oh my god.
And then he finally drew the lines. Okay, fine. Okay, that's enough. Okay. So yeah, he was good about that, and yeah, he was good. He was like at a level. cooperative enough to where he was like, okay, you know, I'm gonna take you guys back to the hotel, and then he was like, we were fine. Yeah, I just remember like laughing a lot, just feeling very good.
Now that you've experienced like getting drunk, how were you like? How were you like related to actually getting high? Like, do you think they compare like they're very like similar?
I want to touch on that. So yeah, since weed is legal over there, I did buy some weed.
Oh yeah.
I've concluded I don't like weed anymore.
Really?
Yes, I prefer alcohol a lot more.
Why?
So I took some edibles, and I remember just doing random stuff around the city. I get paranoid. I get very fucking paranoid, and that wasn't the case before. Or rather, it's not that I get paranoid. It's just I found out with weed, it's very very easy to get stuck in like a thought loop. They can be good thought loops, but they can also be negative thought loops.
Yeah, because your fucking thoughts are getting hands.
Yeah, it's like you get way too sad inside your head. You get inside your thoughts, and you get inside that thought, and you get inside another thought. You just get trapped in there.
Whereas alcohol, I feel like it kind of like silences the voices.
I feel fucking amazing when I'm on alcohol.
It feels liberating.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I wanna put a boundary on that because like I know like yeah, I feel incredible on alcohol, but also like I realize that that's not something I should abuse. That's not something I should depend on because like that's something bad waiting to happen.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, overall the experience, like this is my first proper time actually getting full on drunk. You know, hanging out in a bar, walking around the city drunk. I felt amazing. I felt good. I felt just really happy. Versus when I'm on weed, I'm just like stuck in my head and I'm like thinking, oh, I hope no bad thoughts come into my head. And
you can't really control it either.
Yeah. Whereas when you're on alcohol, like
you're just like pure instinct at
just
that point.
Feel good.
Yeah.
So, you know, I still didn't get a hangover.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you not throw up?
No. So okay, so remember my friend who before that night he refused to drink and afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
So he had a really bad experience. I think he drank as much as me, but like he was throwing up all night.
Oh my
Which is funny because like I don't remember that at all. Like I remember just knocking out, falling asleep like on the bed. Like my friend had to take off my shoes for me. I don't remember that at all. I remember like I just laid down for a little bit, just like rest a little bit, but apparently like I just fell asleep. But yeah, apparently my friend was throwing up all night, and then after that he was like, "Yeah, I'm not touching alcohol ever again."
Wait, was that his first time drinking alcohol as well?
I guess.
Or
no, I mean he's had experience before, but I don't know to what extent. But yeah, after that he was like, "Yeah, guys, He had a bad hangover the next day. I was fine. I mean, I felt shitty, but then I realized, I just need a coffee, and I had a coffee, and I was fine.
The fuck?
I think I just felt sleepy. Like,
my first time drinking alcohol, I didn't like go get like a full on hangover either. I wasn't throwing up either. But I remember like the next day, I was out of commission. I couldn't like do anything. I just like laid in bed for like the entirety of the day, just drinking a shit ton of water. So the fact that you just fucking like took that, you said, you know what I need right now? A cup of Joe. That's what I need.
And I felt good afterwards.
That's insane. I think it's because of the difference in body size as well. Like,
yeah, I will say that's what I'm trying to get at. That's what I was trying to get at. Is I just don't have I'm not good at taking care of myself. Like I would just abuse my body, and like I don't. I would just push it until like I reach a breaking point, and like that's what I'm saying. Like I don't want to touch alcohol because like I know that like I have no regulation. You know.
For me, alcohol is I exclusively only drink when I'm around people and just like hanging out with friends or like in a party or anything like that. I never drink alone. I used to drink alone. The most miserable experience ever. Yeah,
I would only ever drink if I like somebody that was there that I know would watch out for me.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I don't trust myself. But yeah, it's really funny how the ex-alcoholic. We were joking before a trip, like, oh shit, we're gonna have to control him. No, if anything, he was keeping us like, guys, chill out. Okay, we're going back to the hotel. I remember it's like the walk back to the hotel. It was like all snowy. It was I don't know if you've walked in snow now, right?
Yeah.
So it's like really slippery. It was just funny. We were just laughing a lot. And just, like we were like slipping, and like
on top of being drunk. Like,
it was just so fun. I don't know. It just makes you just feel so vulnerable, and not in a bad way. You just feel so much more less guarded. That's the word.
Yeah.
We just start like talking a lot more about vulnerable things. Like I really appreciate you, man.
I was gonna ask you about that. Did you have like a moment with your friends? Because I remember I had like I don't know about you, but me personally, I get very like huggy. I want to like always hug people and just like tell them that like I appreciate them and shit like that. Now with Brother specifically, I'm always like trying to hug him and kiss him and shit. Because that's just how I am when I get drunk. I'm not sure if that's how you turn out to be as well.
Yeah, so all three of us, there's multiple times where like we just stopped each other and we're like, Well, one of them is called Nick. I was like, Nick, I fucking love you, man. I appreciate you for everything. And like he would say that to me. And also the third friend, the one who got really hungover, usually he's pretty guarded. Like he's not one to like express like affection like at all or be very vulnerable. Mm-hmm. Remember, just, like the memory that just sticks to me. Like he was just fucking so joyous, jumping around. And he was like, I fucking love you. I think you're such a cool dude. I think you're such a cool dude. And I was just surprised.
That was the alcoholic, right?
Yeah. No. That's the one who was like, I'm not gonna drink after this.
Nick is the alcoholic?
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Gotcha.
I once called Margarito. Yeah, he was like, I fucking love you, man. I think you're such a cool dude. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's cool because you just don't see this side of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We just, it's like, it's a shame that we can't like always have our guards, lowered, and we can just like be liberating and just like be like that at all times. But
what can you do?
Another thing I wanted to ask you: the elephants in the room.
What?
Your tattoo.
Oh,
you got it. Okay.
Oh, it's been a month at this point. Like,
yeah. So, do you feel like every time you look at it, do you like feel like what the fuck is that?
No, I honestly. Well,
do you forget about it?
At this point, like enough time has passed to where like it's just part of my body. Like I forget it's there sometimes. Plus the fact that it's been pretty cold, so I've been covered up anyways. I'm not usually like this. It's starting to warm up now, but yeah. I mean, I see. I'm like, oh shit, I forgot I have that.
Yeah. I've been told as someone who that doesn't have any tattoos myself. I've always been told that sometimes you forget you have tattoos.
Yeah.
Especially like the ones that's just like singular like yours.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know. It's such a weird idea that people forget that they have tattoos.
Well, it's literally part of your body. Like it's literally attached to your skin.
Fair enough.
You need like a fucking laser to take this off.
How was the experience? Did it hurt?
No, not really.
What did it feel like?
So the way my tattoo artist described it, and I think she did a great job at encapsulating what it feels like a cat scratch that does not go away. I think that's perfect. It just feels like you're being scratched over and over and over again. And like, yeah, at first, if anything, I was just like, the anxiety was more overwhelming than the actual feeling. And luckily, like I had a really chill like artist, and she was like really talkative. So like I took advantage of. That's not a good way to say it. I took advantage of that, and I was like, okay, fine, I'm gonna talk to her because like that, that takes my mind off. Yeah, I think that helped a ton. After a certain while though, like honestly, you kind of just your body just gets used to it, and it's just like, okay, well, it's just being scratched over and over again.
Are you happy with it?
Yeah, I'm happy with it. Yeah.
I can't, bro. You joined the gang.
What gang?
The Radiohead Gang.
Yeah, I mean, I keep telling Fabian like, this is literally something I've wanted for like fucking years at this point.
Well, why did you address me in third person?
Because I forgot we were recording. I shouldn't have done that, huh? Well, yeah. I guess give context to the audience.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah. I've been wanting this one for like a long time. I think Radiohead's music means so much to me. I wanted something to commemorate that.
Do you want to name out the name of the logo in case anyone is like wondering?
Well, it's not a particular one. It's just like this
the demonic crying one.
It's a minotaur.
It's a minotaur?
Yeah.
I thought it was a devil.
Oh, well, it's a mixture of a little devil and a minotaur. Oh. They used it during the Amnesiac era. It wasn't on any particular like album cover, but it was like a common image at the time. Which like it's not my favorite album by them, but I think it is my favorite symbol from them. Because like I think it does a great job encapsulating what their music feels like. It's just so sad, but not in a bad way,
Yeah.
And you know what? We had an interesting discussion. Me and my artist, we were like, we were just talking about like, well, she just made a offhand joke about like, oh yeah, us mentally. She's talking about herself and her other coworkers. They had a lot of tattoos. They're just joking about how like they're mentally unstable, and it's like a pattern you see where like mentally unstable people with a lot of trauma and shit have a lot of tattoos. And we were talking a little bit about that. And it's actually pretty interesting because she was talking about how like the way she feels about it is like yeah, they have all this trauma carrying, but the act of like getting a tattoo, like it's like you're taking ownership of your body. And I think like that really like perfectly like evokes like the I don't know, the strength in getting a tattoo, because it's like you're taking control of your body and like you're subjecting yourself to some pain, but this time it's in your own hands, and it's like just this permanent mark, or like it's just like a way to exert control over your environment in a way. You know, it's like you're letting yourself know that I have control of my body. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never thought about it that way. I'm always been like, ooh, cool snake tattoo. I want to get that. Like no real rhyme or reason, just because.
But yeah, I find it kind of resonated with me a lot because like I just went through so much shit last year, and I was like, I want something, you know, that I feel control over, you know.
Speaking of, like, how did your parents like deal with that?
They don't know.
They don't know?
Nope. And I'm gonna try to hide it as much as possible.
What?
At this point, I'm making like a fun challenge to myself, like, because I'm gonna get 2 more. So I'm making a challenge to myself, like, let's see how long I can hide it.
They're gonna have to, like, eventually.
Well, yeah, but I mean, the way I see it is like, yeah, the longer, like, I feel like the longer they don't know about it, like, the more detached I'll be from the tattoos themselves. So like whenever it does inevitably come, like I won't be so hung up about it. You know, it's whatever. It's been there for a fucking year already. You know.
You think they're gonna like freak out?
Nah, they're not the kind of freak out. You know, they're just like, why would you do that? I remember there was this one supervisor. She saw it and she was like, why would you do that? I was like, but like,
it's a fucking
exactly
tattoo.
Like if anything, like it's like again, like what the artist said to me, like it's a way of taking control of your body, and like yeah, people may see it as like something stupid, like why would you do that to yourself? I think it's this particular image means a lot to me specifically, and like people, it doesn't matter to me. People don't know what it means, or that they think it's this or that. It's like I willingly gave a lot of thought into this, so like even if you think it's stupid or you think I did a bad decision, like it means a lot to me. That's all that matters. It gives you the strength, you know, this confidence that like, you know, I know who I am, and I don't need your validation, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think it's a way, like, even if you don't end up, like, enjoying Radiohead down the line, like, let's say 10 years, it's still, that tattoo immortalizes those feelings in this moment like, that you feel towards them.
If I'm, like, 60 and I hate Radiohead, I'm like, okay, well, that's just how my 20s were, you know?
Yeah.
It's an encapsulation of my younger years.
Exactly. So it's like, I think tattoos are a beautiful thing.
Also, like, I think the act of getting a tattoo was also kind of powerful for me because you know me, I'm very second guessing, very nervous, very like unsure. But I think I remember when I got there, I was just like, just fucking take the plunge, and I just did it, and it's like it's a reminder that I can just take plunges sometimes. It's whatever, you know. I don't have to. It's a way for me to avoid regret, which I want to ultimately like. That's something as time passes, I want to avoid regret as much as possible. I want to do things that I want to do and not second guess myself.
Yeah, like don't overthink it.
Yeah, just do
it. How much did it cost, by the way? I never asked.
Like 100.
Okay. Shit, better than the one that I bought. It was like $80 for a circle.
How big was it again?
It's like this big. It's like quarter size.
You know, I will say though, that one that you have planned, it's gonna take a lot. It's gonna be fucking expensive. I'll say.
Oh, I guarantee like. Maybe over 1K, probably more.
Well, I don't know about 1K. Okay,
no.
Maybe now that you say it, yeah.
No more, I think. I want a sleeve. It's gonna be like across my arm, man.
That's gonna take multiple sessions too.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's gonna take multiple sessions.
Man.
But that's down the line.
Yeah, that's future Fabian to worry about.
But yeah, Colorado and tattoo.
Fucking love Colorado. It's I remember just being there. We as soon as we got at the airport. I landed there. I was like, I don't miss Houston. It's funny because the whole time there, my friends were talking about, I'm so homesick. I miss my girlfriend. I miss my parents. I miss home. I was like, I want to stay here. I don't
honestly,
fucking miss anything.
Houston fucking sucks, man. How do drivers compare over there to here? Are they actually are they about the same?
We found one asshole that almost ran over a pedestrian, but other than that, it's nothing like what you see over here. People don't tailgate themselves, which is very surprising for Texans. Even like the fact that it was snowing and the roads were icy, you know, people behave. So, yeah. I will say like it was funny because as soon as we got back to Houston, we stepped out the airplane and you just fucking felt the humidity like automatically.
Yeah,
it was hilarious because we were like, oh my fucking god, like the air just feels thick.
You feel the heat just burning your lungs.
You just fucking feel the
That's
heat.
what I've been told. Like people that come from from other states. They come into Texas or Houston specifically, they tell me all the time they feel like they're melting and their lungs are burning and shit. You know, when you're here constantly and you're like born here, you don't really think about it or feel it. But man, I imagine that.
Yeah, even now I'm used to it now, but like I remember just in Colorado, I just felt so good. Like the air just feels a lot healthier.
Is Colorado? Is because is Colorado surrounded by mountains?
Yes, it is. It's actually like
that's probably why it feels so much nicer.
Yeah, and like you just feel like it's a very like I remember reading just a little bit about Colorado and Denver particularly, and overall like in general, people are very. It's like a very active community in the sense that they're a lot of them are involved in like sports and hiking. Because hiking is a big, part of the culture over there. Because you go to the mountains a lot.
Mm-hmm. Wait, did you see a mountain?
Yeah, we went up there.
What are your thoughts? Did you feel?
So
did you cry?
No. It was fucking cool.
Yeah, I want to see a mountain so bad in real life.
It's just one of those things like you just can't describe it. You got to be there.
Did you feel like, damn man, I'm fucking small? Like it puts like the size of the earth into perspective.
Maybe not so me particularly, but I remember the cities like off the distance you could literally see the entire city.
Really?
Yeah, and it's just that put into perspective. I was like, it literally looks like this little block, and everything surrounding it is just nature, and it's like, oh, it just made me like realize cities are a lot smaller than we realize. Maybe not so. Maybe I didn't feel so insignificant, but definitely cities and felt kind of weird, But it's one of those things. Personally, like when I was actually up there, it didn't actually feel like I was up that high. I don't know. Like yeah, you see all these things, but you don't really feel like I'm up a mountain. You don't really feel it. Just because we just drove up there. I will say the drive up was kind of scary. Luckily, I wasn't driving, but I remember all of us were just trying not to look at the side because like it's like a spiraling road.
Yeah, I have to imagine. So
yeah, we were just like ignoring that part and just keeping our eyes on the road. Yeah, I love Colorado. I want to go back there ASAP. Yeah.
I mean, it sounds like you had a good time because you yapped on it for like 30 plus minutes already.
Shit, really?
Yeah.
I hope 4 hours is enough.
I'm telling you, it's not.
Fuck.
But I mean, you're the host, man. You gotta take us to the next section.
All right.
Wait.
Go ahead. No.
Did you do anything else during the month? I assume that's like part of your the thing you did throughout the month. Colorado and tattoo.
Yeah, not really. I've just been so fucking busy.
Well, in that case, I am the polar opposite. I stayed at home and I played games. And I played a shit ton of games too.
We can touch on that in a little bit.
Honestly, when I add more to the Colorado stuff.
No, I've spoken enough. I've said my piece. I've spoken for 30 minutes. I'm gonna open the gates, let Fabian flood. Because you've been fucking. I just sense it in you. You're just holding all this shit in.
No, what? All right. So, like I said, as I stated earlier, I stayed at home. I played a shit ton of games. So, do you know a website called Backlog? I think you do know.
Yeah, I have an account on there. You literally showed me this.
Did I?
Yes, I literally made an account.
Oh, so it turns out that like every year they do a challenge where people force themselves to try out games that are like out of their comfort zone. I decided to like check that out and see what's up. So I created a list and I have like a total of 26 games that are just like for me to try out throughout the year. And one of the games was this game called Sin and Punishment on the N64. It's a game that's exclusive to Japan for the longest time up until like the Wii era back in 2008. That game
peak?
I wouldn't say it's peak, but my god, man, it pushes the limitations of what the Nintendo 64 can do in terms of graphic fidelity. Hold up, I gotta show you some fucking. Where's my phone?
Like what genre is this game?
It's do you know what a on-rail shooter is? Like
no.
In the veins of like House of the Dead or
Nope.
No? I'll just show you some footage real quick. It's a on-rail shooter where you just fucking like shoot things and you can move.
Like Doom?
Not Doom necessarily. It's more like you can only move horizontally.
Oh, okay.
While aiming, using your vertical to shoot out opponents off the air and shit.
That's cool as fuck. I see like Metroid.
I guess so.
Oh no, what's that game with like the You play as that ship and you're shooting down stuff.
Oh, Star Fox.
Yeah, that one.
I think it's a good comparison. Yeah, it's like on rail.
That's cool.
Moving shit. But the thing that I really enjoy is that it gave me Neon Genesis vibes.
It looks like it. I can kind of see it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, bro, the fucking like story is fucking insane.
There's
like
a story to it.
Yeah, but it's so like nonsensical.
Okay.
And
like
fucking,
Evangelion.
But I mean, Evangelion, it has like a sense of like it's trying to say something and it makes kind of sense. This is just fucking like someone was like had an idea and just roll with it.
I love shit like that.
Yeah, I appreciate shit like that. This section though, there's a section where you're on top of a platform and you're just like fucking like spazzing all over the fucking place, man.
This is very impressive for an N64.
That's what I'm saying. Like for an N64, this is fucking like unheard of.
You know, if they remake this will be fucking crazy.
The thing is, there's a sequel on the Wii.
I'm guessing it sucks.
No, I mean I haven't played it yet,
Okay.
Look how anime that is.
Okay, that was like Halo.
Halo.
That's literally the sword they use.
I guess so. Yeah. But yeah, this is one of the games that I played for that list.
Mm-hmm.
It's a short little game that you can beat like within an hour or so. Nothing too crazy. I just want to like bring it up because
is it well known?
I wouldn't think so because like I said earlier, it was a Japan exclusive game for the longest time up until like recently. Mm-hmm. So I wouldn't say it's too well known, at least in comparison to like Mario and Zelda. But I think this game like deserves more attention for just like fucking insane ideas.
Did you beat it?
Yeah, I beat it. It's a short game. It's like an hour long.
Oh wow!
like the final boss. I don't think you care about spoilers for this shit because it's water. It's like a water.
800 years old.
Yeah, final boss. You're literally fighting like a replica of the Earth, while that Earth is trying to like destroy the actual Earth.
That's very Evangelion.
Yeah.
Wait, what came out first? This or Evangelion?
What year did Evangelion come out?
I'm not sure. 90s minimum. I'm assuming not
this
the 80s.
came out like in 96, like late 90s.
We have a competition.
So
this is very Radiohead. Okay, computer coded too.
Yeah, I mean it's a wild.
This would
ride.
be like badass footage to put in the background while that album is playing.
Maybe, yeah.
That'd be cool as fuck, yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna put footage on it regardless.
What's it called again? I want to.
Sin and Punishment.
Sin and Punishment.
Yeah, for the N64. I mean, you have a computer, you can probably emulate it. It's an interesting game for sure. But
Sin and Punishment
for the N64, yes.
This is like a play on. This might be a play on Dostoevsky. That book I let you borrow, Crime and Punishment. Sin and Punishment.
I wouldn't go that far.
It's fucking word for word.
The name could like allude to it, but I don't think.
Yeah, I don't think the story itself, but maybe that's too similar to gloss over.
Sure, I guess. But yeah, that's all I have to say about Sin and Punishment. Just a little game that I want to talk about. One of those smaller games on the list that I have, because everything onwards is just shit that I have shit to say.
Okay.
But you want to like the thing is, okay, so what else did you do throughout the month?
Oh yeah, I got something. Yeah. So
yeah,
hopefully this is not on your list. I started watching almost like on a whim because I was like fuck it. I got like a Netflix subscription for my parents, and I was browsing around. I was like, I'll play this, just check it out. And I've been wanting to check it out. I'll just play an episode or two.
Mm-hmm.
I started watching Arcane.
Okay.
I remember you said you watched it.
No, that's the
Really?
thing. I've never watched Arcane.
I very clearly remember you saying.
No,
I remember you talking about the animation because I remember I was talking shit about the animation, but then you were like defending it.
Well, I've always been like a fan of the animation itself, but I've only seen clips of it. I've never actually watched the show itself.
Okay.
And I've been meaning to for the longest time because the animation is like fucking phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I've never watched it.
Yeah, it's so I'm not too far into it. I'm like 5 episodes in, and season 2 just dropped like last month, I believe.
Yeah.
So I have that to look forward to, but it's really good.
Is it?
It's not. Luckily, it's not a thing that because it's part of the League of Legends universe, but you need no background.
I was gonna ask you about that. Like, as
Yeah.
someone who's never played League, how do you feel? Like,
I literally know nothing
lost?
about League, and I'm fine. I don't need any background info.
See, that was like the one thing I was worried about. That's why I've never like watched it up because of the fact that it's just part of a series that I'm not aware of. But another thing I'm worried about is that I'm gonna like the show so much
You're gonna play the game.
I'm gonna start playing the game.
That's a valid concern to have.
And I'm like, I don't know if I want that in my life right now.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Especially with how much people shit on it. They're like, it's like, don't even bother. It's literally just crack at that point.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I was gonna make that like second person. It's like whenever I think about League, I literally think about like methamphetamines or something. You know, like don't touch that. Don't. It's like me trying to stay away from Destiny. Don't touch Destiny. Don't do it. Don't do it.
I guess so.
But yeah, Arcane, it's a great fucking story.
What made you want to like watch Arcane though?
It's been on my radar for a long time. Again, it's really weird that you tell me you haven't watched it because like whenever I think about it, I think about you and you defending it.
I don't recall ever doing that.
Oh no,
you must be mistaking me with someone else. Maybe
I haven't heard anybody talk about. Maybe it was Jonathan. Did he talk about it?
I don't recall. I honestly don't recall.
Wait, I think he did. No, I remember.
I feel like I would have talked to him about it more, but I don't remember.
Just cut this out.
That's fine. Just leave it on.
Oh yeah, it's one of those things that people are very passionate about. They hype it up a lot, and like it just catches my attention because it's like, it's not every so often, this like standalone story from this major franchise gets all this praise. And also another thing that put on my radar again recently was 21 Pilots did a song for the soundtrack for season 2.
Oh really?
So like I was listening to that song a lot and that put it in my mind again. So I was like, oh, I see it on Netflix. I'll just pop in an episode or two.
It's funny you bring that up because I've also heard that Radiohead. No, I mean not Radiohead. Imagine Dragons.
Oh yeah, they do the intro. It's a little cheesy.
No, it's not even that. Apparently, they are characters in the show.
Oh, what? I don't remember this.
Or something like that.
Okay.
Like, that's what I've been told at least. I don't know if it's true or not. But it's like, okay, sure, but whatever. But
yeah, it got me a lot more emotional. Well, again, I'm only on episode like 5, but there's like a pretty big twist somewhere in the beginning. But yeah, it got me pretty emotional, surprisingly. Yeah, I think obviously I still have a lot more of the story to see, but like it not only does it like touch upon like things like family and grief and hurt, but also like I've noticed like it's kind of touching a little bit on like political philosophy stuff.
In what sense?
Like one of the main characters is this character who becomes involved in the government of the country that the place
is it
takes place in.
Jinx? Because
no, she's.
I don't know.
I don't know how much I want to say. I don't know if you want to watch it. Like
I do want to watch it.
I'm not gonna spoil it, but like okay, so Jinx. So like it's almost like 2 settings in the show. One setting, which is the primary one, is like the underworld, which is like it's like this generic, like cyberpunk where all the outlaws live. That's where Jinx is, and she plays a prominent role in that world. And yeah, there's just like the underbelly of the world, and literally on the flip side is the surface world, which is like a lot more utopian. Things are a lot more, whatever,
where the rich
fancy.
people live.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And that's where the other main character takes.
What's your name? V?
No, his name is Jace, I think. But he's like this like genius scientist, and then he starts like developing this fusion between technology and magic, and that leads to like even more prosper in the surface world. So like you see this really interesting interplay between the surface world and the bottom world, and like the way the surface world views them. Like they view them as like a nuisance that needs to be calmed down, and then but also you get the other side, which is like they have all this trauma, and like literally these soldiers like just invading their world, their place, their home, and taking their family away. So you see this tension, and also like obviously that's got I found it that it translates very real it translates very well to the real world, because like obviously when you fuck around with people like that and you abuse your power, it's gonna cause reactions. So like they literally do terrorist attacks on the surface world, and then you get both sides. You get like what they were trying to do, or maybe where they're coming from, or what led to them taking such extreme causes. And also you get the surface world's reaction, where like they see them as just a thing that needs to be calmed down, or that needs to be put in their place. And they also do a great job of showing corruption. Like maybe it's not so antagonistic. Maybe there are hands in the background shaking hands between both. If you do this for me, I'll do this for you. And it's very intricate, and then Yeah, the way Jace gets introduced into like literally this government body, and he starts like getting more involved into like should I regulate this? But also, if I just let people have it, it's going to cause mayhem and It's
Uh-huh.
it's very socially conscious. It doesn't. I was not expecting to have such great political commentary.
I just find it funny, like the contrast between like all that
Mm-hmm.
and to the game being like, "Ooh, funny clicking game, go pew pew."
Oh, it's cool.
But like, so it sounds to me like Arcane actually lives up to the hype then, because
I think it's great.
that's
Yeah.
the thing that I was worried about. That like I think the thing I was worried about is that people specifically focus on the animation itself and being
Oh,
like,
yeah.
"Oh, the animation is like godlike." But the thing is, a lot of people tend to like look at animation and if the animation is like really well done, they
Mhm.
ignore every other aspects of the media itself.
Mhm.
Like fucking Jujutsu Kaisen is a good example of this. Phenomenal animation, story kind of shit, kind of mid. But the fact that Arcane can do
Mhm.
both,
It's very rare whenever they land the perfect balance. I think another example, Spider-Verse.
oh yeah,
Spider-Verse. I think that's why I like it so much. It's just this perfect
it has like
balance.
the same similar like art style, doesn't it?
Yeah,
It's
they're
like
both like 3D. Yeah, but
with like 2D like textures and shit.
it's very it's like a new. It's definitely a new emerging thing, and I'm really excited to see what else people do with it.
It's funny because I was actually at the verge of watching season one
Mm-hmm.
when I finished watching the new Sonic movie
Mm.
because I went to watch the movie with me and some other friends.
Mhm.
One who's a massive League player,
Okay.
and we were just like talking about it. We're just discussing about that.
What did they say about it?
I mean, he likes it. Obviously, he's been playing League since he was like 10 or some shit. I don't fucking know. Like since 2010. But
Yeah, I mean, I still have a lot to watch. So I'm really excited to see what else pops up. You know, that's really the main thing. No, I've just been busy with school and work. Really.
fair enough.
Yeah.
I guess.
Anything else you want to talk about this month?
Oh no, trust me. There's a lot of things I'm gonna be talking about this month. I guess brings me back to my thing again. Sekiro.
Oh, you went back. You went back to it.
Oh yeah, I went back to it. I put like an additional like 15 hours to that game.
Okay.
I'm still not done.
Okay.
It's still ongoing, but I'm getting there. I feel it in my bones. I'm getting the ending is like on my fucking nearing my grasp. It's getting there.
So.
My God, man, Sekiro. There's a reason that game won Game of the Year for 2019 because that game is fucking phenomenal.
Man, I think
I'm surprised that you, the Soulborn guy that I know, has not played Sekiro because I think Sekiro is a game that I think most people should play, especially if you're a Soulsborne fan. I honestly don't think Sekiro is as hard as people make it out to be.
Okay.
And
yeah, the way I've heard it described is like it's a learning curve, but once you get past that curve, you're locked in. You're good.
Yeah, like bro, you can literally once you like know how to parry properly, every attack in the game is parryable, and the game becomes like a cakewalk at that point.
Yeah, the best way I've heard it described is like it's a
like
rhythm game.
Yeah, it really is. It really is.
I will say, I am a little bit let down that you played this so soon because I feel like if you like it this much, like, okay, the way I hear a lot of Souls fans, like the people who are really passionate about Sekiro, they're really passionate about it. They keep it as their favorite game. So I'm kind of worried now that you're not gonna be as excited for the other ones.
So here's the thing, I like Sekiro as a game, but it doesn't make me feel things. Okay. Dark Souls did.
All right, there's still hope. There's still hope.
Dark Souls made me feel things that a lot of games can't. Okay. Sekiro just makes me feel like, damn, they cooked with this game. It's a good ass game, but like ultimately, I don't feel any emotional attachments because you just play as a fucking guy. You're just a guy who is trying to do fuck God knows what. Whereas in Dark Souls, you are the guy.
Sekiro to me feels like Oh, go ahead. I interrupted you.
No, go by all means.
No, I was gonna say Sekiro feels like like when you put it in the context of the Soulsborne catalog or discography, I guess. Soulsborne feels like From Software just flexing their muscles and like being like, this is what we can do when we really put our minds they really put their minds into making like a really well crafted like combat game. They're not necessarily like putting all of it there. I think it's more so Elden Ring, but They're hyper focusing on this very specific part of their niche, and I think to me that's what you're kind of trying to get at. Is like they really fucking perfected it. That's also a very common comment I hear. Like people who they just talk about the Souls games in general, they always point to Sekiro as being like the one where From Software really nailed the combat.
But also, I wouldn't even say. I think Sekiro is its own thing. It doesn't feel like any of the other Soulsborne games. Like it has a lot of the, a lot of the fundamental elements, sure, but ultimately it feels like its own unique thing. Like rolling, quote unquote, is fucking like useless in this game. Like, the worst advice I can give you is to like rolling is just useless. Your best bet is just like parrying and shit. But I think that the thing that I really admire about Sekiro's design is that you can tackle that game in whichever way you want to or feel like. You can be as like aggressive and like full on assault, like frontal assault the enemy, or you can like be stealthy about it and kind of like maneuver yourself around the shadows and kind of like kill enemies in a way that you won't get caught, or you can just ignore that entirely and just run past enemies. And it's all three options are fucking valid, and something that a shinobi would like accurately do in those situations, Whereas in a game like Dark Souls, you could like theoretically run past enemies, sure, but it's gonna catch up to you, and a lot of times that shit ends up in like disaster. Sekiro, since it's like so mobile, and you have like options like to like hook shot, grapple your way around this shit, you can literally like make distance between you and the enemy without any like consequences. So it's like the game is so open where you can like play it in any way you want to until it isn't, because it removed the level system and all that. So let's say, for example, you get stuck in a boss. You're stuck in that boss, man. You can't grind. There's no level system or anything. You can't grind stats. You have to get good at the game to proceed and keep going with the story. And I think I really enjoy that aspect of it, because in Dark Souls or like Elden Ring, for example, if you get stuck, you can just like fuck off and just level up your character, Whereas in Sekiro, you're kind of stuck there until you're fucking like get over the obstacle. But yeah, Sekiro, you should like get around to playing it one day. The fact that you're like I don't understand why you're so afraid of a game of this game to begin with.
It's like people just they put this aura around it, like it's just like, such a hard game, it's
an impossible game.
Yeah.
No, I think that you know what I think the problem is. I think the problem is that a lot of Dark Souls players, they come into Sekiro playing the game as Dark Souls.
That's totally fair.
Or Bloodborne, and that's like the worst. That's like the worst mistake you can do, because it does not play like Dark Souls whatsoever, and it doesn't use the same like philosophies as Dark Souls. But yeah.
Did you get to the monkey?
Oh yeah.
Okay, good. I want to see your reaction to that. I love seeing reaction videos of people stumbling across the monkey for the first time.
Unfortunately,
how'd you react?
I got spoiled.
Oh, fuck.
So I knew what was gonna happen.
How'd you get spoiled?
Because Sekiro is just the game that people talk about a lot, and during that time period when it was like being released, people just like spoiled the game left and right. Unfortunately, but even then, it's still like an enjoyable fight regardless. I do feel a bit disappointed by the fact that the bosses feel like pushovers because of the fact that you can just parry them. I don't know. I feel like I didn't feel like rewarded by beating a boss a lot of the times.
Completely fair.
Also,
I have heard the last boss is generally like the hardest boss in the whole Souls game. So
I'm curious.
Really? Yeah.
Okay.
He's tough. So,
I'll get there eventually. I think.
I doubt they're all pushovers.
How do
you parry a monkey?
Huh?
How do you parry a monkey? Giant monkey.
Yeah, you just do it, man. You do it with your small ass katana somehow.
I mean, like the way I see it, again, I haven't played it myself. Also, like I think it's kind of something cool in that where like, again, it's only one weapon in the entire game, and like the fact that you just feel so confident being able to use it, it really shows that like you really mastered this weapon. It's very shinobi like, you spend so much time with this one weapon and you use it with such ease. I think it's very shinobi-esque, Like, yeah, I guess it kind of ruins it a little bit because it doesn't make everything.
I kind of like it because it makes the developers develop the game around just the sword itself, the fucking sword. Whereas in Dark Souls or any of Soulsborne, you can kind of cheat certain bosses depending on the weapon you have because the game is not like developed specifically for one sole weapon, Whereas in Sekiro, the game is developed exclusively with that sword in mind.
That's a good point. Good point. How much more do you think you have left?
I don't know. I looked up a boss list because I was just like curious to see how further I am. Apparently, I'm 2 bosses away from beating the game.
Damn. Okay. Do you like it more than Dark Souls 1?
No.
Okay.
Well, the thing is, I like Sekiro more as a gameplay aspect, but as a narrative, I think I like Dark Souls a lot more.
That's fair. It's hard to beat Dark Souls 1 in that department.
Yeah. I think that is all I have to say about Sekiro. I think this time next month is going to be done. And I don't think I'm going to be talking about it any further because it's just... I don't think it's going to have the same impact as Dark Souls did on me.
That's fair.
Moving on to next time.
Yeah. That's just for your monthly stuff?
Oh, no.
Okay. What's...
do you have anything else you want to add?
No.
No? You're out of juice?
Yeah, that's it. That's all I fucking watched. Fucking Arcane.
Oh, shit. So it's all just me.
Yeah, I think so.
Fuck. Okay.
How much time we got?
We're at 1 hour. I mean, it's 1 p.m.
Let's do one more thing and then we gotta move on to the actual subject matter.
That's hard because I like all the things in here. I'll keep it short. I'll keep it short.
I don't want us to run out of time on the actual juice.
Okay. Have you heard of a game called 1000 X Resist? No? It got awarded Best Narrative in an Indie Game, or Indie Game with Best Narrative of 2024. This game, I haven't finished it. I'm still playing it. But from what I've experienced so far, this game is fucking weird and out there. The main premise is that there's a civilization that is underground. You live in a dome, right? And the way that it works is that the dome consists of Iris, the main whatever, who is the All-Mother, essentially the god of this dome. And alongside Iris is her clones, hence the name 1000 X Resist. And there's 5 like main clones, the main sisters, and they all have like a role to play. There's like the healer, the pink healer, the green fixer, the blue watcher, the green whatever. And within those like main sisters, they have factions of their own. Like they have their own followers, and they live in this small civilization in harmony. They have like their own religion that they form around the All-Mother, Iris. So like right here, you have Iris, who's not actually that
terrifying.
That's not her actual size, but
okay.
that picture is taken from a dream like escape like section.
Whoa.
But just to get like the point across, like Iris and the 5 sisters,
still scary,
and they all have like a role to like maintain. And within the dome itself, there's like they follow the All-Mother like a god, because every character derives from the All-Mother. They're all clones from her. And it gets revealed down the line that the reason why there's so many versions of her is because a disaster happened in the world where these angelic beings came into Earth and spread like a pandemic of some sort, like a disease, where humans were just like cry out all the liquids in their body, and they just like die out. And this was the case for every human in the world aside from one sole person, Iris. But the thing is, Iris was just a regular human teenager before she became the All-Mother. And you get to see her life prior to becoming, this immortal god that, is like beloved and praised. And she's just like a regular ass teenager, and albeit a fucking entitled piece of shit brat, but her like story on how she has to like leave behind her humanity and her family behind for the sake of for the sake of humanity's survival. It's kind of like devastating, and eventually, humanity doesn't make it. They all die out, and she's like the sole survivor, and she's just kind of left there with her like many versions of herself, her clones. And the thing is, as time goes on, you play as the main character. You play as Watcher, who's is one of the sisters, the blue one. And her whole thing is that she just is there to like watch everything, watch the surroundings, and essentially like maintain history. And some events led to one another, and years pass by, and the civilization is slowly crumbling. And in this place that was once like a harmony place where people were just living their lives, doing their roles, is slowly becoming a place where people are becoming bitter and hateful towards the old mother, Iris. And history is becoming distorted, and is becoming like is getting changed for the sake of pushing an agenda by the higher ups. And the thing is, a lot of the clones, they have like very like set personalities. They don't change from the beating path. But after certain events that happen, they're starting to become more like adaptive, and they're like trying to find more roles and purpose in life aside from their initial
Coping.
not coping. It's just that, fuck, how can I word this without like saying too much? It's essentially what it boils down is that
It's like they get hit with the existential crisis.
I guess so. I don't know. I'm not doing a good job setting the premise of the story. It's just a weird ass story that I think you would really enjoy, because there's a lot of like religious,
Oh, for me. Oh, were you done?
Sure, I guess.
No, if you have more to say, I don't know.
Not really.
I don't interrupt.
It's just yeah.
Well, a few things automatically like came to my mind. I lied. I have been doing more stuff besides Arcane.
God damn it.
I've been reading more philosophy, specifically of this one particular guy. So I started. There was this friend I met at my time in the previous university I went to. We met in the philosophy club. He's really the only guy I've seen like be as passionate about philosophy as me. So like, we really bonded over that, and we still talk online. But it's like we are exploring ideas together at this point, and we both stumbled upon this one philosopher, and we're like we've been meeting up every now and then to like we're reading the same book, and we meet up every now and then online to talk about it and just discuss. And there's this one guy we're on right now that like we found very, very, very interesting. It's called Deleuze, and his whole thing is like, whereas like the big breaking point, or what I see as being so like important about him, is that like throughout like a lot of philosophy throughout history has been focused on like trying to build some kind of like stable structure of knowledge, some kind of base that we can like always reference back to, that encapsulates everything we can know about the world. But he's very, this guy was around like in the 1940s, so he's very recent, more or less. He died in like 1990, so he's very recent. Like the big really interesting breaking point I see in his philosophy is that he says no, it's not philosophy, or rather just the way we operate should not be about stability or trying to find this eternal system where we know what we can know, and then we can know what to do. It's not about that. If anything, it's the chaos itself that we should relish in. It's the destabilization. It's the uncertainty. That's really what reality itself is. He calls it difference. Like his big thing is like he wants to create a philosophy based on pure difference, because he thinks philosophers up until him have completely ignored difference, and they've tried to subject everything into identity and coherence, making everything fit into one thing. So he says no, it's not. We shouldn't do that, because there's no such thing as truth. You're never gonna reach like a point. You're never gonna see reality in its whole. That's not the point. Like, what the point is the difference itself, the difference between things. That's really the only thing that exists in reality. It's just difference, destabilization, randomness, chance, uh, power. That's really all that exists. And the reason like I bring that up is because like, well, first of all, like I already knew like you're talking about like the game starts off with pure harmony. Like I already knew it's gonna go downhill. That's well because that's how most stories go, right? You need some kind of conflict.
Yeah.
But like I started thinking like, well, we kind of talked about this before, where I was like, I feel like if heaven is really the way it is as it's described in Christianity, I'm pretty sure most people would fucking hate it. And like, yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking about. I was like, well, would it really be that nice to live in such a world?
Like internal peace.
Well, also that one, but also like that the first one where that story takes place in, it's just pure harmony, everything's nice. I was like, would that somebody really want to live there, And I was like, well, you're gonna have to introduce some chaos at some point. So I was like, oh no, I'm really. I know you don't want to say much because you don't want to spoil anything, but I'm curious about like what you can say without spoiling it. Like, would you say that the game itself says that yes, this destabilization is good, or do they still try and like almost like not condemn is not the word, but the game still encourages you to return to a stable point, or does it encourage you to just embrace the disharmony? Whose side does the game pick?
I think embracing the disharmony, because the All Mother, at least from what I've experienced so far, is always like depicted as someone who doesn't have the best interest for their fucking like civilization.
Mm-hmm.
And is like depicted as like an antagonist of some sort. And there's like more shit behind the scenes. And to what that is, I have no clue because I haven't reached that point in the story.
Oh, you didn't beat it?
No, I haven't beaten it yet. I'm still playing it. That's why like a lot of details I'm still not like I'm not so 100% certain what's happening entirely. But I think like you said, yeah, it's more so for like this harmony for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I found it really interesting how that game manages to create its own like set of like religion and beliefs, and they also have like their own language in a sense.
Yeah.
Like they have their own phrases and everything. Like they have a saying, they have like a saying that says like hair to hair, hair to hair, red to blue, or something like that. And it all means something amongst themselves. I have no idea what the fuck it means, because of A, Y, and Z reasons. But after a certain event, people are starting to like condemn people that use those phrases as like, like as people who are like too, because the clones, they don't age. They're just like stuck in this perpetual state of being this teenage clone of themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the older clones, they're slowly becoming like fucking like insane because they've been along for too long without any like guidance or purpose. And people that use those kind of phrases, they're kind of condemned as like crazy people. Like, bro, you're stuck in the past. Get with the times. Our civilization is moving forward. We're become more diverse as a species, if you want to call it that. Even I don't know. It's just an interesting game. It's fucking weird. That's all I have to say.
It's really interesting that you bring up the fact that the game itself creates like its own like language and its own religion, because like this guy Deleuze, he has a very unique take on what philosophy is. So up until him, people like thought that philosophy was meant to like uncover truths or grasp reality as it is.
Mm-hmm.
He says no, philosophy is just simply creation. Philosophy is the creation of concepts. Philosophies are just like attempts of trying to, they're literally, it's almost kind of like art. Like art plays a very important role for him because creation is a very important thing for him.
Mm-hmm.
Difference, generation, the new ideas. This is what he wants to like encourage.
If you don't mind, if I can interject, I was always under the impression that philosophy was more so an art form to understand the world around us, in a sense, or like the reality, like finding the bigger questions. I mean, the bigger purpose in our lives. In a way, is that not the case?
It depends how you ask. But again, like Deleuze would say, yeah, that's it. It's like, yeah, it depends on who you ask. Like it's gonna vary person per person. That's the point. There is no like, nobody has the truth. There's no really such thing as truth. Like
Mm-hmm.
the only thing that really exists is like difference, variance. What's really interesting, he says that we shouldn't measure philosophical ideas by by how true they are or how accurate they seem. What we should measure them with is like how interesting and how much potential we see in them. So we shouldn't see philosophical ideas in terms of like, is this accurate or is this true? We should use them more so like, what further ideas does this generate, or like how can this change how I behave in the world? Rather than is this true or is this accurate or how can I argue against this? You should be looking at it like, what can this do for me? How can this serve me?
Mm-hmm.
It's taking like it's literally like it's encouraging you to take from this, take from this, take from this. Just build your own fucked up Frankenstein of a thing. He's not saying he's really against like arguing because he's like he has no interest in arguing. Like I remember like the book I'm reading, like there was cases where like people like anecdotes of people talking with him about his ideas, and then they criticize it, and then he goes, okay, fine, let's move on to the next thing. Like he's not necessarily like avoiding feedback. He's just saying like, okay, well,
like he acknowledges it, but he doesn't want to like accept it. Or...
No, he's like saying like, okay, well, he's not interested in debate. He's like, okay, let's move on to the next interesting thing then. If that's not interesting to you, let's move on to the next interesting thing. Like it's not about like finding the accuracy or the truth of an idea. It's just like the potential it has, particularly
for what purpose,
like how you live your life. Like again, like his philosophy encourages like a lot of like creation. Like it's a philosophy that lends itself to like creating art and all that. So naturally, like you could use his philosophy to like really view art and I guess like live your life more as an artist rather than like this fixed thing where you're trying to decide like these are my beliefs and I'm sticking with them. I'm never going to change them throughout my life. No, he encourages living like just the word he uses a lot is nomad. Like move around a lot. Like
nomad.
Like people that move around.
Yeah.
Like his whole treatise on ethics is literally he calls it nomadology. Like he encourages people to like create zones where they're constantly moving around. They're never settling, and you can apply that both artistically but also ethically. Like you should always be moving around. Never get like stuck here. Feel free to just grab from wherever you want.
This is one of the few philosophers that really like captures my attention. That sounds really intriguing. Like I think I wouldn't mind reading more.
Yeah, I was gonna say I was honestly tempted to recommend you the book I'm reading because it's not too complicated. It's a secondary source, meaning it's not from him. It's just like some author explaining him, and it's an introduction too. I think it's pretty digestible. I think it makes a lot of sense. I think also I will say like I see his philosophy as Nietzsche's project brought into a full potential, meaning that he draws a lot from Nietzsche. He's a big fan of Nietzsche. But the one issue I always have with Nietzsche is that he's always been afraid to do metaphysics, meaning that he's always been afraid to talk about like all this theoretical stuff. So he talks about history and culture and art and all that, but he's always shied away from talking about reality in itself. But Deleuze, what I really admire in him is that he comes from a generation where people were saying that metaphysics is over, we can't talk about metaphysics, whatever. He just says, fuck it, I'm just gonna talk about it. So like he the way it seems like he gives a metaphysical voice to Nietzsche, and like really his philosophy is just like I think it's just Nietzsche fully actualized. Like I don't know. I will say I haven't been this excited reading philosophy in a long time.
Yeah, it sounds like something that even I can easily like get into, because the fact that he's not necessarily like indecisive, but he's very like non-judgmental about certain discussions.
It's not even about being non-judgmental. He's saying that no, it's the refusing to stick yourself to this one area. That's the point of it. Don't do that. It's about moving around.
Let's say what was his like political stance? Do you know? Did he ever state it?
He's got a whole book on politics.
How will he feel in today's?
That's a whole other thing. Because okay, this is a whole rabbit hole because his political project consists in encouraging schizophrenia.
What? In what way?
So, schizophrenics. The way they think, it's very
like outside the box.
Not necessarily that, but it's like they have schizophrenics don't see like an order in the world. They just jump around from point here. Like whenever you hear what a schizophrenic says, like, oh, God put a stomach inside my body. The schizophrenic is transgressing like all these lines. He's like he's not necessarily speaking nonsense per se. He's just like he's not letting like he's not letting language constrain him. He's like he's just moving from point A to like wherever he wants to. So like us, like for us, it'd be like it's really it's a little bit tricky to explain. Like we just see our roles in the world as like these fixed things. Like oh, I work at this grocery store. And that's all I can do. That's it. This minuscule thing. That's all I can do. But he's like he develops this thing like called micropolitics, where it's like no, there are like tiny, very tiny forms of resistance that you can adopt.
Mm-hmm.
Not even just the way you act or the things you do, but also just the way you think. If you just like if you start thinking schizophrenically, like just turn yourself into a thing that can create. Like a good example would be think like rap music. I think you would really like rap music because like rap music is like
implying that rap wasn't a thing during his time.
No, but he's French, so it wasn't as popular in
I
his
see,
thing.
gotcha.
Yeah, right. So it was more of a thing that was going on in America. So rap music, right? It originated from this disenfranchised community. It was just like a way for these people to like create art and maybe like process their things, whatever. But like it became like a mainstream thing to where like he sees the world, politics more so like this almost like these zones of battle, these zones of power control or like I guess power struggles. But like these people making music that like clearly like provoke people and make them say all these things, whatever, like rap music is not music. What is this? What is this? What is sampling? Sampling is not music. You're disrupting the way people think, like the way people assume music should be, by putting rap music there and saying that no, music can be more. Not only are you like disrupting what music can be, and you're putting like new possibilities, but you're also like it goes back to Nietzsche. Like it's an expression of the will to power. Like you're expressing your power. Like no, I can't control my zones. And like the fact, well, maybe not so now because like now it's been commodified into like it's been incorporated into capitalism. But back then, it'd be more accurate to say that yeah, back then, this music becoming really popular, and like provoking all these people in suits, being like, this is inappropriate. Children can't be listening to this. Like it's that he calls it deterritorialization. It's that disruption you cause. That's the actual political moves you can make. Again, it always just bounces back to art being this powerful thing because like in a way, creating art is an expression of the will to power, not just maybe your own experiences, but also maybe your community. He also talks about graffiti. Graffiti is also a good example of that because you're like this. Imagine like this. I don't know. Like imagine like a town hall where the government building is. And you put graffiti on it. You're putting like a soul and saying this is my soul now. It's like it's tiny acts of like taking zones of power and there's this constant back and forth. He's not about like revolution and then one class taking over the whole thing. He's more so like just like
it sounds to me like he's really into like breaking the conventions of what we consider as like the standards.
Exactly, not just socially but also literally in the way we think.
Yeah.
Like again, remember to him, reality itself is literally just difference, contradiction. That's reality.
In what sense? What do you mean by that?
So like a good example would be like identities, like the self. It's very common to just think like, oh, I'm a person, whatever. Blah, blah, blah. I'm just Ed, whatever. He's like, no. That kind of goes back to what we were talking about on Discord. He's like, no, like you're not really a person. You're just like a multitude of forces, but processes. You're a bunch of cells, expressing themselves, and then those cells are atoms, and then it's interesting because like the book they described it as like yeah, he's for multiplicities and pluralism and all this, but also he's still adamant about the one, about this one pervading thing that like the universe is still one thing. But the thing is like this one thing can vary. So the example the author uses is like this one thing could be the gestures I'm using, it could be your voice, it could be the lips, it could be a friendship, it could be a social group, but it's still one thing expressing itself. But at the same time, though, it's still multiple things. It could be like a piece of art,
like a collective conscious, or I don't think
not necessarily. It's like the universe is this one thing, this one expression, but that one thing can vary. It can be anything. Like what I'm seeing right now and what I'm doing with my hands, it's just expressions, but it's still like one thing, you know. It's not like it's very tempting in our daily discourse and also just in philosophy in general to think about reality as like this layer thing, right? You know, we have consciousness here, and then whatever ideas right here, and then God, if you think that's the thing, that's there, and then material realities over here, and then atoms. No, he's saying like it's just expressions all the way through. Expressions.
I don't know if I necessarily agree with that.
I think you should read the book.
Yeah,
the book is really good.
Yeah.
There's a section on Nietzsche which I think you'll really like. Yeah, I haven't been this excited about philosophy in a hot minute.
No, for sure. Like, I don't know what you're gonna recommend me this time around, but hopefully down the line you will like consider recommending me something like that, or like even give me like something small to like digest. After we're done recording this, I wouldn't mind like looking even deeper into that because it does sound like really interesting. It's just I'm not gonna add more to that because I have no idea. I can't even like really like comprehend what you're trying to convey to me right now.
Look, I'll say that up until now, philosophy for me, I felt like I was kind of hitting a dead end.
And it doesn't rekindled like.
Yeah, because his whole thing is about just processes and like it's the activity itself. That's what it is. It's not about settling on something. It's about searching. That's literally it. Like it literally just breathed new life into it. Sorry. Sorry, editing Fabian.
Oh no. It's funny you say that because last month, near the end of the podcast video, you kept opening and closing a notebook. And I'm like, oh man. And sometimes I'll like disrupt the flow of the conversation because I was like, I'll be talking or you be talking, and all you hear is. And I'm like, fuck, Ed, no. But
I fidget a lot.
Yeah, I figured. Anyways, moving on from that, it's gonna be funny moving on from like that, like insane, in-depth discussion about philosophy and life and shit.
Like I said, like I don't have anything to talk about in it.
No, it kind of worked out because it's like something you did this month, anyways. So it kind of like worked out. Like we moved on from my thing to your thing, now back to my thing, which is an anime. And it's gonna be like so polarizing. Like, you know, it's just like the polar opposite of what we just discussed about. Do you know of an anime called Ichigo Mashimaro or Strawberry Marshmallow by any chance? So the way that I found this is I have a routine every night. You can watch the entirety of both Lucky Star and Azumanga Daioh on YouTube. And I made it a routine of mine to watch either or before I fall asleep. I just put it on, let it play out, and I enable the loop feature so that way it will like loop, loop as before it ends or whatever.
And yet you make fun of my Radiohead playlist.
Okay, to be fair, Lucky Star specifically, that's like my comfort anime. Okay.
No, it's my comfort band. I have a tattoo of them. Asshole.
Yeah, but Lucky Star is it revolutionized anime in the 2000s. Did Radiohead do that? I don't think so.
Yes, they revolutionized music in the 2000s with their groundbreaking Left Turn album, Kid A.
Anyways, so yeah, I every night I put on either Azumanga Daioh or Lucky Star, and I let it play out. I enable the loop feature to make a loop, and for whatever reason, on one particular nights, I forgot to enable the loop feature. And this led to me waking up to an anime that's also on YouTube called Ichigo Mashimaro. It's a slice of life anime about 4 preteen girls and their older sister. And the thing that I really like gravitated about this anime is sound design. How it utilizes in its ambience a lot of the time, and it's not afraid to let the silence kind of like linger. Sometimes you have like a frame shot of the characters looking out in the distance at the sunset or whatever, and you hear like the sounds of the wind, rustling the leaves, sounds of a dog barking at a distance, sounds of a bicyclist, roaming the streets, and it kind of like really like captured my attention because, especially like with modern anime, it's all flashy. It's like always quick, and it's always like it's like dangling keys in front of your face.
That's a lot of media nowadays. That's a lot of just the reality we face a lot of days.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. And this anime is kind of old. It came out back in the early 2000s, like 2005 or something like that. And the thing is, it's not like a narrative heavy anime. It's just a story about adolescence and how these kids enjoy their youth and their and how they see the world through the lens of like a childlike wonder. And I think that the thing that really resonated with me is specifically with the older sister who's like 20 years old or some shit. But the younger kids, they see her as like the older sister, because the older sister is only related to one of the characters, and the other three are just like friends or acquainted with them. And they kind of like see the older sister, who's named Nobue, by the way, as like this figure that they can like rely on. And there's like all these. Oh my god! Hold up.
Oh, I thought you were gonna show me your tattoo of it.
No.
Fine.
No, I can barely think properly with
I'm getting naked right now.
Honestly, sounds like a good idea. Like my brain's like, it's just focusing on the heat itself.
Your brain's on fire.
Honestly, yeah. Man, well, I lost my train of thought completely.
It was that hot.
Oh yeah.
It was that hot.
I was gonna ask you, like, so what is your like exposure to slice of life anime? Have you watched any by any chance, or do you have like an opinion on them by any chance?
I watched one.
Which one?
I don't fucking remember. Toradora, is that guy?
I'd say it's more like romance more than anything else.
I remember I was talking about it with somebody. Well, something similar though was that movie I talked about last time, Perfect Days.
Mm-hmm.
That was very similar, I feel. Granted, it's not an anime, but it's a movie. But I think that's the point of it. Like, it's literally a slice of life. It's like nothing is happening at all.
Mm-hmm.
I think the director said like, "Oh, I want to make a movie where nothing happens."
I mean, that's a lot of slice of life. But I think the thing that really like I gravitated towards is that Nobue, she's always seen with a fucking like cigarette at hand. She's always like smoking or drinking alcohol, right? And she's always trying to, I guess, set an example for the other kids. And you can, like, she tends to come off as like sometimes very entitled, sometimes very bratty, and sometimes very impulsive as well. And the way the story depicts her is like she's very rough around the edges, but there's like a clear heart of gold within her, because there's like scenes where she's either like going to a pantry shop where she's trying to like buy dessert or whatever, and she sees, before walking in, she sees like a baby cradle, or I mean baby roller outside the shop, and she sees like a mom and a baby waiting their turn to like get dessert. And she kind of like hesitates on going inside because she doesn't want to disrupt this family with a fucking like cigarette in hand, or like put them in like in a discomfort situation. So she kind of like just goes away and goes chill at a lake nearby to just like pass the time and shit like that. And there's like instances. There's like a lot of instances of like of that where she's like very considerate on her surroundings, even though she's like portrayed as like a delinquent of some sort, Another like instance that like really comes to mind is that her sister is very like, she becomes very insecure about her like weight, because the scale shows that she gained like one additional weight.
Oh, sad.
And the way she tries to like nullify this is that she tries to make her go outside and just like play around and play sports, play soccer, play baseball, to like in the hopes of losing weight. Stop worrying about that, because during the episode the sister was like forcing herself to like not eat as well, because she just wanted like not to gain any weight afterwards. And as the older sister, she just kind of like looked out for her. But then it turned out that the sister wasn't gaining weight; she was just getting taller. she's just getting taller, and therefore
you're just growing.
Yeah, you're just growing. And they have like this very intimate moments, like, oh, I'm just getting older.
Oh yeah, you're like 12.
Yeah, it's like it's like it's such a nothing. It's like a nothing narrative, but it's like it's so sweet and very considerate. And other moments that also like really captures my attention is that one of the other characters, Miyu, who's like fucking. Who's just like a troll, shithead of a character, constantly like causing like mayhem and trouble for everyone else. And the way that the story treats her is that she's essentially the comic relief character, where whenever she's trying to like start trouble, Nobue just fucking like slams her to the fucking like sometimes. So the way that she's always like portrayed is that she's always trying to stir up problems, and just right before she starts some sort of like discourse, the camera instant cuts to her just laying on the floor, like not necessarily unconscious, just kind of like there because she's got like
hush up, boy.
Yeah, like hush up, like stay down, whatever. And she's just portrayed as that constantly, but down the line, they portray her as like getting kind of fed up. And the reason why she does this is because she is like a single child in her family. She didn't grow up with any siblings, and this is like her way to like kind of seek attention from the other character, Nobue, because again they see her as like the older sibling, even though they're not really related. And Nobue treats her as the way she treats others, kind of like shitty, because it's just like a thing. It's just like their dynamic at that point. They kind of like treat each other kind of shitty. But the Miyu, the younger girl, she starts like after a while starts like crying because she feels neglected. She feels like her priorities. She feels like she's always not being prioritized, and the other girls are always being comforted. And there's this moment where Nobue realizes like, oh, she kind of took it too far that one time. He tries to like comfort her, and they just kind of like spend the night together, and just like give her like that moment of like a sense of like family and like sisterhood. And the reason that kind of like resonated with me is because I feel like I've been in a similar situation as well with my own like sister, where Barleo and I, we literally like competed for her attention and affection. So I saw a lot of myself within like that dynamic as well. And I don't know, it's a very like sweet moments that I think about a lot.
Oh, you got more to say?
No, you can interject.
What was I saying? Like, speaking on the whole like slice of life genre.
What's up?
I feel like you're gonna be surprised when I say this, but I think it's honestly my personal favorite genre. Like, yeah, I like grand narratives, stuff like that. But also, I really, really, not only do I gravitate and appreciate stories that are more grounded, I also just really gravitate towards people like that. Like, what was the sister's name again? The older one?
Nobue.
Nobue?
Nobue. Something.
Nobue?
Yeah.
Nobue?
Nobue.
Like, I find myself really like attracted to and gravitating towards people like that who are like, yeah, they're kind of mean, but also like they clearly care, and like I don't know,
they have good intentions as well.
Yeah, like I find people like that very, very. I admire them, even. Like it's just like this. They strike this perfect balance between like pushing, but also just pulling back. I think it's very admirable. Like oh no, that's not really. Yeah, I just really appreciate stories like this. Stories like this, people like this.
Yeah. And I fucking love this anime a lot, and it's a fucking vibe. The problem is, there's a big elephant in the room, massive elephant in the room. It's 99% wholesome, very innocent, very wholesome, but the way that the mangaka sometimes depicts,
It always happens.
So
it's always fucking
happens. So you know how Japan can be sometimes kind of weird with is a specific character, character.
Sometimes.
A lot of the time. And prior to us talking about this, I was very hesitant on bringing this thing along because of the way the characters are kind of depicted a lot of the time. And to be fair, it's nothing like egregious.
But I was like, why would you put that there?
Exactly. It's like
more about the manga than.
But thankfully, like the anime kind of like tone it down.
Okay.
The manga itself is nothing crazy, but there are like occasional things that makes me go, man, why ruin something so like something that clearly has a lot of like love and passion and like care and like kind of like getting like tainted by things that are not meant to be here at all. But I don't know. It's just one of those things that
it's hard to ignore.
It's hard to ignore. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like at first you really got my attention. Now it's like I don't know if I want to.
But the thing, okay, so the thing is, I looked into the artist. His name is Baruse, I think, and I tried to see if he had
a pedophile. Did you search his name up in police records?
I guess in a sense, yeah. Trying to see if he has like fucking like ill intentions, and to my knowledge, he doesn't. He really doesn't. He's just very like he has like a really strong weird interest in drawing these like underage characters. Again, not in weird ways necessarily. A lot of the time it's very innocent. But there are like very occasional moments where it's like they're drawn in ways that makes you go like, huh. I don't know about this one, Chief. So it's like it's one of those things that's kind of hard to recommend and acknowledge because of things like that. But if you can like move past, you know,
the pedophilia,
I guess so. you're left with something very like beautiful and down to earth and grounded. So, something that's like very rare to see in a lot of things nowadays.
Oh, not everyone's perfect.
I wanted to like show you, to show you like images of the actual show itself. So like as Noboy, there's like the 4 other characters. As you can tell, it's like.
Well, that's sick.
Yeah,
that'd be a sick profile picture. Send me that one. That was cool.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, favorite for you. Here we go. So you can remember.
As you can see, she's clearly always smoking.
Wait, is this the sister then?
Yeah, the older sister.
She looks sick.
So the thing is, in the manga, she was actually depicted as a 16-year-old, and they bumped up her age to 20 in the anime.
What the fuck?
Because
she's supposed to be 20.
In the anime, she is.
She looks 10. Everybody else looks 4.
No, they're 10 and 11, I believe. They bumped up her age because she smokes and drinks underage.
They can still show suggestive stuff, I guess.
Oh, the anime doesn't really show suggestive stuff. The manga sometimes does, unfortunately. But like,
what is this?
That's me.
What is that face?
That's me with the fucking like bratty ass like fucking always starting shit up.
This fucking remembers because I'm taking a fucking a class on like the evolution of human beings, and we're on right now. The unit we're on is about monkeys and their social cues, and like a fun fact: one of the ways some chimpanzees show submission is by showing their teeth and smiling.
Yeah,
and that reminds me of that. She's showing submission.
Well, I don't know about submission. More like dominance.
More like, yeah, exactly. Like one of them is submitting. Like, oh, yeah, you're more dominant than me. They like bow and smile. That's hilarious.
But it's like, this is like one. He's just like vibing. Hold up, I like this thing. Like I don't know. This is like Noboy just fucking getting cans of beer.
Okay.
She has a. Oh, okay. So this is one of the things I was referring to, where like the anime just takes a step down, and lets you take in the moment and just like, like bro, just chill, relax. Stay with us and just
I'm really glad you brought this up because my short form content touches on this, but we'll get there when we get there.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll get there when we get there. And this is the gag I was telling you about, where she's like, it cuts
everybody. I thought she just beat up the one. I know she beat up everybody.
No, it's just her constantly. It always hard cuts to her, just like.
Oh, it's the same person.
Yeah, it's the same one.
All the girls.
No, it's the same one. Because she's like a troll, so she's always getting what she deserves. The gag is like her always getting like hard cut, face planting on the floor, and I don't know. I just find it kind of funny, and I don't know, man. It's an anime that I kind of like. This is the scene I was referring to, where she sees like the baby stroller outside and just decides to like fuck off and go to the lake instead. And I don't know, man. It's like aside from the fucking like pedophilia bullshit, it's such a like wholesome, chill ass, comforting anime that I really like. I think it has easily become like my third favorite like slice of life anime out there that I've watched at least, and I've seen a lot of slice of life anime.
Is that guy taking pictures? He is.
Speaking of,
Now I smell weed. Yeah, I want to check it out. Is it on the list?
No, because
Okay,
I didn't think you would enjoy it. If I'm going to be honest.
As I'm saying, I don't think you would expect me to be the kind of person that enjoys slice of life. I actually do.
You really?
Yeah, I do.
What?
Okay. The way I'll say is like I feel like I'm very well. I'm like I'm trapped in my head a lot of the time. I really appreciate, again, not just things but people that ground me a lot. Like it just remind me like just chill, just live. But I will get to that when I get there.
Okay.
No more on that. Oh yeah, that sounds like something I would enjoy.
I think if you're down for like a slice of life / comedy anime, because it's also really fucking funny, man. I say go for it. It's a short anime you can watch in 5 hours. The whole thing is on YouTube as well.
I do remember like I used to throw like bratty fits back in puberty because I was like, "Slice of life is stupid. Why would you watch this?"
I do remember you. Yeah. I think that's the reason why you didn't like Mob Psycho as well, because Mob Psycho can be considered like slice of life-esque or adjacent.
I am still not big on Mob Psycho.
I love Mob Psycho, and I think you should. I think it deserves a second watch. But
that was just me throwing fits. But then I grew up since then. I realized, just chill out, enjoy life, enjoy it. But sorry, I'm fidgeting again. That's gonna be annoying for you.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. But yeah, that's all I want to say about that. Just it has become, since I've finished watching it, has become part of my rotation for what I watch at night.
Oh, but I can't listen to Radiohead. It's repetitive. It's addicting. It's obsessive. Okay.
All I'm saying is those animes are like 5 hours long. You can listen to a Radiohead album in like in an hour.
Not if you have it on loop.
I guess. Now if you watch listen to every single album in one go.
I'll do that.
Shit, I want to do that eventually.
Drugs, but yeah. Anything else?
No. I think that's it. I do have
monthly stuff.
No, I have one more thing. One more thing. But you want to talk about something else? Because I need a breather, man.
I haven't been doing anything.
Ah, shit. Okay, I guess I'll keep on going then.
Let's go. Sorry.
All right. I guess the last item on my list, I saved the best one for last. This is a doozy. A little game called Omori.
No.
Yes. So, for context for viewers, I have tried to play Omori.
We were just talking about it too.
3 times at this point. First time, I played it for like an hour, and I kind of fell off because of other reasons. I just kind of got distracted with other things during that time. I enjoyed it. I just got other things going on during that time period. Second time I tried playing it, I got 10 hours in. I was having a good time, having a blast. 10 hours in, and for whatever reason, Steam said, "Hey, I see you're having a good time with that game. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna erase your save data from existence," and it did, and I lost everything for whatever reason. This is something that has not occurred since, but it happened to Omori, and I became kind of deflated from replaying the game from scratch. So I kind of like put it on a back burner for now, until recently. 2 years later has passed, and I've decided to go back and finish Omori, and I did. I finished Omori. What do you know about Omori? Like what
I know about Omori was that we were talking about it very recently, and you acted like you never fucking played it. Now apparently you finished it.
Wait, what?
Asshole.
Wait, what?
You're talking about it as like, oh, I'm gonna revisit it one day. Ooh.
Yeah.
I really liked it, but I wanna finish it one day. Motherfucker, you're playing it the whole time.
No, I literally played it because of that discussion.
Oh, okay. I forgive you.
Yeah.
I thought you backstabbed me.
No. I played it.
I have a very vague idea about Omori. I just know it's very okay. 2 things. I know the basic premise. I know the game is set up on this duality between the waking life and the
real life,
unconscious life, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm assuming there's a lot of things about identity and what we express to other people. And the other thing that comes to mind when I think about Omori, it was like this. This YouTube thumbnail and title where it was like, I didn't watch it at all, but I did see it. I avoid it because I don't want to see spoilers. But
the daughter.
Yep.
Yeah.
The title was something along the lines of, "I lost my daughter to suicide and I played Omori."
Mm-hmm.
So that's really all I know about it. I'm assuming it's very Emotional.
I mean, I've seen that video floating around, but I haven't watched it. No. Aside from that, what else do you know?
That's really good. I know it's one of those things that I look forward to a lot. I want to definitely hit it at some point.
So you're not okay with spoilers?
No, please don't spoil.
Oh, damn it! I was hoping to get into like spoiler territory. I guess not then. I guess I'll just say my piece with other things that are not spoiler territory, which is unfortunate because I was banking on that. Omori is like a fucking like phenomenal piece of game, considering that it was made through an RPG Maker engine. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that. What that is?
I can get an idea.
RPG Maker is like, it has a stigma amongst the gaming community because a lot of the time games from that engine tend to be like mediocre and subpar.
It's like using GarageBand to make music on your phone.
Exactly. It's like, I guess in a sense like that. But the way that Omocat, the creator of Omori, managed to do.
Why do they have similar names?
Fuck if I know. I don't fucking know.
Omocat and Omori. Sorry.
The fact that like Omocat managed to do the things that they did.
It's fucking impressive.
So to get like a backstory, Omocat are most notably known for being a clothing brand illustrator. Like before Omori, they were selling clothes and illustrations on the internet. So naturally they specialize in drawing and shit like that. But she was very determined to create Omori, and she was very determined to learn programming to create Omori. And there's only this was a 3-man team. It was her as animation illustration and programming, and the other 2 did solely the music.
Yeah, what a fucking powerhouse.
Yeah, and the fact that they managed to make a game this like oozing with fucking personality and charm. Like I'm pretty sure you've seen like clips of the game itself. How like
I thought it was a full studio the whole time.
No, it's just like a small team. Fuck, I was really banking on talking about spoilers. No. If you don't want spoilers, I won't say.
I want to know.
No. We'll hold off on that one for a different talk for a different day. All I'm gonna say is that
this is something I'll like.
Yes and no.
Oh man.
Yes and no.
Why would you say I wouldn't like it?
Because of the gameplay aspects.
I don't give a fuck about that.
But also because. Okay, so I'm doing
a visual novel right now. I don't care about gameplay.
Okay, so all I'm gonna say is that I respect Omori for what it is and what it accomplishes, but I don't really enjoy the gameplay aspect of it. You know what a turn-based RPG is, right? Like in the vein of Pokemon and stuff like that. So I think Omori is very like bare bones and lackluster in its combat, in the sense that every enemy are fundamentally the same. They all do essentially the same thing. They never switch it up. The only difference is that they just have a very different visual skin, and this goes for the bosses as well. So when you're like playing the game, a lot of the strategy revolves around doing the same thing over and over. There's not much strategy involved to the game itself due to its nature of just being like, kind of bare bones. And that, that's not at the fault of the game itself. It's just something that the game takes a step back for the sake of telling a much more compelling story, because the story itself is where the game excels at. The game is kind of, it's kind of whatever. Another thing that I really kind of disliked is the headspace aspect of the game. The dreamlike sections.
That's one half of the game.
Exactly. But the reason I kind of dislike it is because a lot of the time, the story that revolves around the dreamlike the sections is that the stories kind of deteriorates from the main narrative, and the main narrative is like a lot more compelling and a lot more like interesting to
I would have thought
consume.
It played off each other.
The thing is, it does connect, because the whole point of Dreamscape. Do you know about like the main premise of like Omori is like about depression and like dealing about trauma and like
emotions you hide.
Yeah. So the whole point of Dreamscape is that it's Omori or Sunny as his actual name, or Mori's his alter ego in a sense, is Sunny's way of like coping with the trauma and not necessarily accepting. That's his way of like trying to escape reality through his like his imagination and dreams. And in that regard, I respect what the dreamscape sections represents. Is like his sense of like his sense of escapism from the truth of what his life is.
Yeah, maybe it kind of leans a little bit too much on that. Maybe it leans a little bit too much on that escaping factor, where it kind of just deters off into its own thing.
Yeah, because a lot of the time it feels like the main characters go on wacky ass adventures, going like, you know, doing their own thing that don't really like feed into the main story. But it's like the fact that the dreamscape exists kind of feeds into the main narrative as it is. It's just like a lot of the time, a lot of the wacky ass scenarios just kind of like, I feel bored out of my mind.
I don't want to play anymore. Go ahead and spoil it.
No, I won't.
I don't like boring things.
But it's very endearing as well. But are you being serious about spoiling it?
Yeah, I don't feel like playing it anymore. You killed it for me, to be honest. I was really looking forward to it. You're not selling. You're not doing a good job of selling it.
No, but the thing is,
like, they're big spoilers.
They're big spoilers, and I don't know if I should spoil it, because it's a game that I think you should experience it.
Okay, if you think I'll experience it, then I'll probably enjoy it then. Okay.
All I'm gonna say is that Omori is a lot like Mr. Robot.
Cool.
That's all I'm gonna say.
Sick. All right. Oh, okay, cool.
Fuck. I was really banking on that spoiler. God damn it. Whatever. I guess we'll talk about it some other time.
I'll try and get to it by next month.
Oh, you're gonna play it?
Yeah, I'm going to. It's on Steam, right?
I own it, yeah.
Yeah, I can just grab it then.
Alright, sure. And I guess that concludes everything.
We ready?
Yeah.
I go first.
Yeah, because God, yeah, good lord, I need a fucking break.
Okay. Should I say played or read? I am playing A House in Fata Morgana.
Mm-hmm.
Number 1. Holy fuck, this shit's long as hell.
You're like, what, 5 hours in?
I don't fucking know.
You're 5 hours in?
It feels like I've been going at it a long time, but I'm not even that far in. But also, I think it's kind of the point. Like, okay, I'm in door 2 right now.
Chapter 2, then.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And from what I can tell, like, every door seems to be like almost like a different generation that lives inside the mansion.
Mm-hmm.
But I still see like it's still so alluring. Alluring? No, with the R. Alluring. It's very attractive. It's very captivating in the sense that, like, there's this mystery that you know you're gonna get to at the end, and you know it's gonna be a big twist. But obviously it's like constantly teasing you, because like, well, when you start off, you don't know who you are, and like the whole point of you going through all these different doors and different memories is that you're trying to remember who you are. So I'm really curious what they're gonna do with that. I know it's gonna be like a big fucking twist or whatever. I don't know what, but looking forward to it. I mean, so far my interpretation is like, it's definitely a lot about trauma and forgiveness. Because although like I'm only 2 doors in, I've already seen like one occasion where like something was mirrored. And okay, this is where like I'm really banking on you remembering things. Okay, so first of all, the first door, right?
Uh-huh. The twins or the
yes,
siblings.
I'm glad that I wasn't off base, because I thought the girl was being really fucking weird. As soon as the fucking the game started, yeah, I was like, should I be uncomfortable right now? I don't like how she's talking to him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm glad that was confirmed. Like, yeah, she's just insane.
Oh yeah, she loves her brother. Yeah. Maybe a bit too much.
A little bit too much.
But what are your general like thoughts and opinions on just the door 1 from what you've experienced? Like,
I liked it. I was very entertained throughout. I was very engaged with it. However, I don't like. It feels like it just ended on a cliffhanger. Like, the only resolution we got was just like a passing mention. When you get to door 2, like the maid just passively says like, "Oh yeah, you know, the prince never married again," and then the generation died off, whatever, the bloodline died off. Again, that's something they might revisit later on. I could be wrong.
like that by design. Yes.
Okay. Would you say like most stories end like unresolved, and like it all just comes together at the end?
Initially, yeah, the end kind of unresolved, and the payoff is that the, these stories will make sense.
Okay.
If down the line they will make sense why these characters are going through these things and why you're seeing these events and why you're seeing them in such like different time periods and all that.
I think it's a very disorienting story in the sense that like you're constantly shifting perspectives.
Mm-hmm.
Like, sure, objectively you're supposed to be the
Like,
master of the mansion, but it's like you're literally just
like in a servant. At that point,
oh,
I mean, you really aren't just observing.
I think it's a servant.
Oh no, observant.
No. Well, yeah, you're going through all these different doors. You're one time you're at one point you're at this guy's point of view, but now you're now you're seeing the thoughts of this person. It's like it's I think so. Before this, during my little bratty, dumb, immature era, where I just belittled and disregarded any mediums I wasn't aware with, I always just toss aside visual novels like it's stupid. Just read a book. No, I now realize there's a very unique thing to visual novels.
Like how you utilize music and stuff like that.
Oh my god, I'll get to that.
Yeah.
It's honestly, I think a visual novel has more potential than a book.
I think so too.
It's more than a book, because like, despite it literally just being still images with text, I've never felt this immersed in a world like this. Maybe a close competition would be Red Dead, but that's a different thing, you know. I just feel like I'm genuinely just observing this, but it's crazy because these characters are literally not moving; they're just images.
Yeah, they're just static.
But like it's just so well written. It's genuinely very like intriguing. It feels like I'm powerless. Like I'm just observing. Like I this could go anywhere. Like this like constant lingering sense that I know something's gonna go wrong.
You just don't know what or when.
Yeah, and then the main maid, she's always like just egging you on. Like she's like, oh, don't get too attached. Something's gonna go wrong. Something terrible's gonna happen, and you're like, what could go wrong? And then some fucked up shit happens, and then you're literally in a different century.
Your sister's trying to fucking bang his brother,
and then now you're literally looking at this fucking literal cloud of
like beasts.
Yeah, like what the fuck is this? And like apparently he's painting walls with blood, but now. Okay, I'm gonna put my interpretation out there.
Mm-hmm. I'm just gonna stay quiet.
It reminds me a lot about Evangelion, in the sense that I interpret the ending of Evangelion, particularly that scene of the movie where I can't even remember it that clearly now. Oh yeah, whenever it's just Shinji alone, but then he finds Asuka, and then they make contact, right? The very, very, very end of Evangelion.
When they're at in the blood beach.
And then she sees Asuka. I mean, he sees Asuka, and then Asuka like reaches up to him and like, caresses him, and she's like, "How disgusting." Wait, no. It's no. First, he strangles her. His first reaction is to strangle her, and then she caresses him, and then she says, "How disgusting." I interpret that as being like just that, this constant struggle Shinji is going through, where like he's trying to let people in, but it's like the hedgehog's dilemma. It's like yes, you should open yourself up to people, but you're gonna get hurt, and it's that fear of getting hurt that causes you to withdraw. And it's like this constant back and forth where you want to get out, but also you're just constantly being hurt.
My interpretation for that scene in particular was that he is so like afraid of like human interactions to the point that he's willing to risk it all, like in literally ending the human race by choking out his last hope of potentially reproducing the human race. But he's also like in a weird dilemma where he's also really afraid of being alone.
Exactly.
Yeah. So he kind of like hesitates.
It's like one connection, but also just being scared of it. Hedgehog's dilemma. So the white-haired girl, she's shown up in both doors thus far, and she's more or less been the same character. Well, not really. No. It's like she took opposite sides and from one to the other. Because in the first door, she wanted revenge for the father being thrown out or whatever. Whatever. She wanted revenge. she was hurt, and her immediate reaction was to hurt back. So that's why she tries to strangle the prince, because she's like, well, I have to get revenge, I have to hurt people. I have to hurt the people who hurt me.
Wait, the white girl said that? I mean, the white hair,
the white girl,
the white hair.
Yeah. The first door, she says that.
I remember her being like more passive than, and.
Well, yeah, there's like a sudden shift where the prince just wakes up, and he just wakes up to her like strangling him.
I thought that was a sister in the disguise of.
Oh, it is both.
No,
like at first there was the girl, the white haired girl,
Mm-hmm.
and then the sister cuts the girl's hair, and then she's like, "Oh, now you like me."
Yeah.
Like I heard she tried to strangle you. I'm gonna do that because apparently you like that.
I do not. I do remember that, like the sister trying to like do the same, but I don't recall the white hair girl being.
She was trying to get revenge because her father got outcasted by the family.
Okay.
But yeah, the prince is like automatically forgiving, and he's like, I'm not gonna try and punish you, although he has all his power to like literally kill her if he really wants to, for like literally trying to kill him. He's like, no, like I see that you're more than that. You're just hurt, Like I see your violent reaction is just that, just a reaction. It's not a reflection of who you are. I know that this is not you, and that completely flips on the second door with the beast. So the beast, he becomes the white girl, I keep saying the white girl. He becomes the white-haired girl because like he's been literally treated like a beast. People are scared of him. They call him. They try to kill him. So he's like, well, I must be a beast. I'm gonna.
That's all he knows.
Yeah, and like he literally starts fucking murdering people, like just because he's like, well, people call me a beast, so I'm gonna be that. I'm gonna be that beast. I'm gonna hurt people. The world hurt me. I'm gonna hurt them. But then the white-haired girl enters into his life. And this time around, she's actually blind, which is a very interesting dynamic because she can't see how he looks. And he's constantly adamant about, but like she's very open to him. Like I think it's very beautiful how like she can't see, but then she says, well, you talk like a human, you feel like a human, like you have emotions, like I feel your emotions. You talk like a human, you do all these things that are human. You are human, even if I can't see you. You are human. You're doing all these human things, but he keeps being adamant about, but you can't see me. It's because you're blind. You can't see me.
Mm-hmm.
And when they first meet, he tries to make her into his next victim. Like she tries to kill him, and like the same exact thing happens as to what happens whenever the prince almost gets killed by the white-haired girl. Except like no, almost the roles have reversed, because now the girl is being strangled or whatever. She's about to be killed, and she's like, she forgives him like automatically. Like he's like, why aren't you afraid of me? And she's like, well, because you wouldn't do something like that. Like I know it's not in you to do something like that. I do feel like it started kind of meandering a little bit. I just started peeking a little bit around. You're gonna be mad at me. I started peeking around the subreddit a little bit. And most people say that door 2 is the worst one.
I disagree. I think
really?
door 1 is the worst one.
Really?
Actually, well, I want to say worse. It's just like they're just kind of underwhelming.
Okay.
And I think
how many doors are there?
9.
Oh, it's not that bad.
9, I think. So the thing that I will say, this is not even a spoiler. It's just my general thoughts. Is that door 1 through 4, they're kind of underwhelming. And me personally, I was fucking like
bored.
Not bored. I was just like, my God, where is the story going? Like, why? Like, I want to know what's happening, and the story's not letting me know. It's like it feels so disjointed. They kept building up these blocks, and they kept fucking like breaking it down almost immediately. And I remember feeling really frustrated by that fact. So it's like it kept teasing at me at a bigger like narrative, but nothing was ever happening. And that feeling persists all the way to like door 4. And I even argue that door 4 is the worst one.
Okay.
I think door 1 is like whatever. Door 2 is a bit better. Door 3 is a lot more interesting than the previous 2.
Mm-hmm.
Door 4 is just...
Is it boring or what is it?
It's not that it's boring. It's just...
I was like, what's the point of this?
Yeah, exactly. What is the point of this? And then door 5 is when the story actually begins. The way I can describe this is that door 1 through 4 is just the prologue.
Okay.
and 5 onwards is where the real story begins, and where things actually start making sense.
You know, I kind of see like the mansion as like one consciousness. Like to me, whenever like you're going through all these doors, it's like you're looking into memories, and you're looking at these memories of like hurt and trauma. So I'm still pretty confident about my interpretation about it being about trauma and forgiveness and just being willing to open yourself up. That's what I think the story's ultimately leading up to.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very curious about what the payoff's gonna be because it sounds like it's gonna be massive. I'm really curious how it's all gonna connect. Because I thought maybe like it's gonna like the centuries, all the characters throughout the different centuries are like related, but no, that's not the case.
No.
Yeah. So I threw a curveball at me. The soundtrack. Soundtrack is fucking amazing. Holy, I was not expecting it. It genuinely might be my favorite soundtrack I've ever heard.
Yeah,
it's fucking wow. Like I don't know. Like there's times where like I'm just going about my day and I just hear like the opening notes, like the music box. I just starts playing in my head. And I think it's really cool how like in the intro credits they say like we recommend headphones because we're just as proud about the music as we are about the story. I want to ask, is it just one person that did the whole thing? The soundtrack? Or
I have no idea.
Because if they did, holy shit, that's fucking...
I haven't really looked into the credit scenes that deeply to know if it's just one guy. But I think the game was made by pretty like sizable team. Mm-hmm. So I don't think it was made by one guy. But it's funny you say that because the main appeal to me about Fata Morgana was the music. Because initially I mistaked it for like Nier Automata music. I thought I was listening to Nier Automata music, and it wasn't. But it sounds so similar to it. Any particular tracks that makes you like?
The one that always comes to mind is whenever they're kids, the two twins.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I play that like just by itself.
Yeah. Exactly. The soundtrack only gets better and better
as the
story progresses. If you think these are good, whoa, really? Brother of mine, there's more shit waiting for you.
Another one that sticks to mind is like the Beast one. Like whenever he's gonna kill the merchant, I was like, holy fuck, they just turned to like a fucking death metal. And it's like an acoustic guitar too. I was like, I didn't know you could do death metal with like, just a guitar. I was like, what the fuck? Oh, this is fucking sick. Jeez.
Just like the contrast between the two stories.
But also like just the way they play with sound. Like whenever like the beast is present, like anytime his dialogue pops up, it's like this weird scratching noise. Like,
yeah, and also the fucking like the box himself are literally unreadable.
Genuinely, like anytime that sound effect comes on, like that sound effect comes on, I just get like a little jump scare.
I was the same. Like it was. I remember playing this at night, and I was like, I was like visibly like freaked out.
Yeah. And yeah, because I also play with just the lights off and just my computer.
Mm-hmm.
It's like whenever like I just see him talk, just X and then I was like, what the fuck?
It's such a jarring sound. That's why.
That's what I'm saying. It's so fucking cool how they can do all this with just characters looking at each other. It's not animated at all. It's just fucking PNGs and some text. That's what I mean. There's potential in fucking visual novels. You can't do this with a book.
Yeah, the thing I really appreciate about visual novels is that sometimes even the music itself can tell a story, and you can't really do that with a fucking like book itself. I've heard a lot of arguments online that visual novels typically are not like since they have like the power of visuals. They don't put too much emphasis on describing the world around them as a traditional book would. Because if a traditional book, they have no other choice but to describe every fucking detail. Whereas a visual novel, they can get away with certain things not being explicitly stated just because they can show it through the background, the PNG characters, whatever. But as someone who has not read that many books, I can't find myself going back to reading books, like physical books, because I just need that like extra stimulation. And now,
sorry, go ahead.
No, that's it.
Oh, so like it doesn't feel like a fair criticism because like although they're showing it, somebody still made it. It's not just like they fucking grabbed it from the internet. Somebody fucking designed it. Somebody spent time drawing it, designing and thinking about how it's gonna look. It's no more different from like at a painting. Like you don't criticize a painting for saying,
Well, it's just showing the tree. It's not evoking the image of a tree by using words. Like, no, it's just somebody put fucking effort into this.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying I'm not.
Oh yeah, I'm just talking shit about whoever says that.
Oh yeah.
I'm really excited about it.
When you were reading chapter 1, were you like, by any chance, like bored or like feeling like?
It was like one time, but it was just very tiny things, like maybe just like, I don't know, like maybe just like some little conversation Mate was having with some random character, and then, but it wasn't like it never got to a point where I was like, oh, God,
I was really worried that you were getting to that point because like I said earlier, your Steam, I was fucking watching that like
I'm just fucking busy.
That's fair because I can like see the hours you spent, and I can also see the chapters that you've completed. And I was getting really worried that the month was ending. You only done like one chapter. So I was like, "Fuck, man! I don't think he's enjoying."
No, believe me. Anytime I turn the computer on and then I open it and it starts loading, and then that little music box just starts playing, I immediately get fucking fixated into it. I'm telling you, it's like it's so fucking. I've never found anything so immersive. Like no book is. Well, few books have caught me in such a way where I just become fucking immersed in it like that. It's like a fucking switch.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. It's so fucking impressive. A visual novel can do that. No film has done that to me, really. The only time I can experience, I've experienced something similar is like when you're like in a movie theater, but just sitting in my room, laptop. It's pretty impressive. You can
this is your first visual novel you've experienced, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to. Spring break is coming up soon. I'm gonna try and speed run all of it.
Well, it took me like 2 years to finish that.
I'll say that.
Well, but
I'm built different.
I mean,
I'll say that it took me 1 month to get through one tour.
I mean, the reason it took me so long to finish is because I kept taking breaks in between. Because again, it was during that period of time where I was just like kind of like fucking like frustrated and bored. But it feels like you're having a much better experience than I did. Yeah,
because it seems like I'm at the part where like everybody shits on it, but apparently I'm like, this is really good, guys. What are you guys talking about? So if the later half is as good as everybody says, I'm gonna be in for a fucking ride.
And I can't wait to like hear about it. My God.
Obviously, without spoiling anything, like, how crazy is the twist? On a scale of 1 to 10.
Wait, what twist?
There's no twist. That's just a yes.
Wait, twist for what though? Because
I'm assuming there's gonna be something that they reveal that connects everything together, and it's gonna be something that's unexpected.
I mean, it's not like crazy, but it's like
how will I react whenever it all clicks?
It depends. What are you asking here?
I'm trying to see what the twist is without asking what the twist is.
The thing is, it's not even that it twists. It's just like,
how does it all connect, Fabian? Tell me, how does it all connect?
It all connects.
How?
I can't say.
No! I want to know.
It's not really a twist. It's just the way that the story makes it make sense. It just makes sense. It just makes sense. It makes sense, and it's not really a twist. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. Because I don't want to like say something by accident.
I think it's time to move on to Berserk now.
You want to add anything else to that?
I wish I did. I could do more.
Yeah.
Trust though, next time I'm gonna be.
How far are you in the second door, by the way?
I'm almost done. I thought I was gonna get done by yesterday, but I didn't.
How many? Yeah, there's no way you're almost done. What's the last thing you recall?
It can't be that long. The girl was looking for the boyfriend that got killed by the beast.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then it went back. Okay, I will say it is kind of meandering a little bit right now because it went back to the beast being like, "Oh, but you can't see me. I'm a monster." And she's like, "Oh, but I think you are." Beautiful.
Okay, so the thing I will say, a lot of the writing throughout the story, it does like not necessarily meander, but it takes especially like in the way later half, or like the last quarter, it does like take a much more like slice of life esque feel to it.
Okay. I would have thought it like really picked up by then, no?
Oh no, but it's like very. It's a slice of life esque way that adds to not just the narrative but the characters as well. It makes you like understand these characters a lot more.
So what do you distinguish is like what about the second half caught your attention a lot more or made you enjoy it a lot more than the first one? The first half.
The characters being realized, like actually realized.
What do you mean by realized?
It's like you said, like you feel like they kind of like undercut the conclusion of the first door, right?
Like they say like, oh, you remember this person? Here's what happened with them.
Like there's more to the stories.
Okay, it's not over. They remind you that hey, there's more going on here.
Yeah, exactly, and the characters become more realized.
Okay,
that's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say.
Interesting. Okay.
So
Fabian's got a lot to say for this.
Huh?
You got a lot to say for this next one.
What makes you they say that?
I don't know. Maybe the fact you're recording fucking voice notes.
Where is it? God damn it! Here it is. So
Berserk.
Are
you gonna get a tattoo now too?
No.
Everybody I know who's read Berserk has a fucking Berserk tattoo.
I don't think
except me.
Okay, I haven't gotten to that point.
But you will.
But I'm getting like glimpses on why people love Berserk.
First thing I want to know, what part are you on right now?
I am currently at the part where Guts left the band of Hawks, and Casca is like the leader, and Guts is like being reunited to the band of Hawks. That's like the last thing I read. He's like he left and he's coming back to the Hawks, or at least it's implied that he's coming back.
Have you gone to the eclipse?
No. I know.
Holy shit!
Okay. The thing is, I've heard about the eclipse from like outside sources. I still don't know what the fuck that is.
You're just like me a couple years ago. You haven't seen shit yet, buddy. You haven't seen shit. You think you have a lot right now? Holy fuck.
Okay.
I'll say like Berserk before the eclipse is like a 7 or 8. Maybe a 6. 6 or 7 or 8.
A 7 or 8? I could argue.
Eclipse forward though?
Uh-huh.
Fucking 11.
Okay.
You're gonna see the eclipse and be what the fuck?
I've genuinely been like enjoying Berserk even before the so-called like 11 out of 10 eclipse. I think Berserk has a lot of nuance to it.
You're really early into it.
I am.
I thought you were a lot more ahead.
No.
But the way you were talking about it, I thought you were like halfway or something.
No, even like I fucking wish. Like my only gripe so far were like the initial chapters.
Yeah.
The initial chapters, they feel...
Yeah, it's a little rough.
Yeah, it's a bit rough.
Mm-hmm.
But I also appreciate it because it makes you like think, like, how does Guts lose his arm? How does he get a scar? Like, why is he so like distant and like emotional? Well, not emotionless, but like so like aggressive. Like, what happened to Guts?
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that they like go back in time. And you like get to like live all of that. You slowly like come to learn why Guts is the way he is in the present time, and it's fucking. It's just.
You haven't even found out the reason why yet.
Yeah, I don't even know, but like even like the small glimpses of who Guts is now, makes me appreciate Berserk as a whole.
I want to say something, but I'm not sure if it's a spoiler or not.
Wait, talk to the mic.
Sorry, I'm thinking about saying something, but I'm not sure if it would be a spoiler.
If you think if it's a spoiler or not, I suggest keeping that to yourself. Or what makes you think it might be a spoiler?
It's vague. I'll just say it's pretty vague, where you can like your mind can wander a little bit. I'll say where you're at right now, this is the happiest that Guts ever is.
I kind of figured.
Yeah, this is the happiest Guts ever is.
I figured that this like moment of like pure like bliss wasn't gonna last.
Like Mira does such a great job of like just depicting this sense of family and connection. Like later on you're gonna see why he carries all this hurt, all this pain. Like even now when I think about it, like when I think about that period of the story, it's like I'm looking back into like all these nostalgic memories, warm memories. I get emotional too. Just think about it like that. Imagine how Guts fucking feels.
Oh yeah.
But like, yeah, it gets fucking worse.
Well, don't say that.
Man, I want to reread it now. That was fucking incredible. Griffith. What do you think about Griffith? Griffith or Griffin?
Griffith. That's what I call him, Griffith.
Okay. What do you think about Griffith?
From where it stands, I think Griffith is an interesting character.
He's really fascinating.
I still don't understand him.
Yeah.
So from what I can gather is that he wants to get a kingdom, not necessarily for some like greater goal or like greater like achievement or like a sense of like bringing peace to the land. It's more so just this like inherent innate desire to accomplish a goal, and that goal is building a kingdom no matter the cost. But the thing is, he's not like a fucking bruteless monster about it. He does it at his own like sacrifice a lot of the time, and he genuinely wants to make this kingdom for the sake of like, I guess just for his own like a sense of accomplishment, but also for the sake of people around them. Because there's this one particular scene that really sticks out to me where he sees like the corpse of a child holding on to like a toy soldier who like clearly has like a fascination for like soldiers, hence why he joined the war to begin with. And you see like Griffith like looking at the body like blankly, emotionless, and distraught even. And that to me tells me that he's very conflicted with the idea of building the kingdom. Like, yes, he wants to build it, but he's building the kingdom at the cost of people's lives. And that's kind of like a weird like dilemma. Like, he's trying to bring peace and harmony, but he's also like unintentionally bringing chaos and death to innocent people. And I still don't understand where he's trying to go with all of that. But like that's like the general idea that I'm getting at.
I think Griffith is honestly the most badass character I know in fiction.
Also, my God, he's fucking gorgeous.
Oh yeah, he's a twink.
He really is, man.
Yeah. I think Griffith is like, he's such a intriguing character because he feels so real, but at the same time he feels so unreal. What I mean by that is like, he feels like a real person. Like the relation. I'm not sure if you've quite felt this at the point of the story where you're at, but like the way I see their relationship is like Guts and Griffith's. That is, it feels very real in the sense that like you're obviously looking at the story through Guts' perspective the whole time, and occasionally you see what Griffith is up to. Well, like, Griffith is such an elusive character. Because, like, yeah, he does things. He does a lot of things. He's a very active character, but he's also, like, he's very hidden a lot of the time. Like, the reason I say he's very intriguing is, like, Griffith is, like, that friend that, like, you're close to him, right? And you spend years with him at the same time that, like, you don't know him at all. Like, you're always wondering, like, what's going on in his head. Like, he's always somebody who you should be on your toes around at all times. He's just like this unpredictable like force of will. Like, yeah, I think that because like yeah, he can be incredibly generous, very empathetic, but also he can be completely psychopathic one moment. And it's like who's the real Griffith? You're gonna see this pronounced a lot more throughout the story, but Griffith's such a fascinating character. I find it more fascinating than Guts because like he's just, I don't know. Not only one, he's really cool. He's how ambitious he is and all the cool shit he does. But also, like, he's just this constant, fucking unstoppable force. It's really fucking cool.
And you really feel that too.
Yeah.
Like a lot of so I'm not sure if I'm just like stretching connections or just like seeing things where things are not there. But a lot of like symbolism imagery that I keep seeing is that the moon. I mean, the fucking manga even like shows it like explicitly. Griffith is like his face is like plastered on the moon, and a lot of the symbolism there is that Guts sees Griffith as like the moon, this shining bright light in the darkness. His like shining hope when he feels like aimless and hopeless. And I kept seeing, like, every time, whenever Guts refers to like Griffith in any capacity, you always see the moon in the background.
I never noticed that.
Yeah, and a lot of the similar, like, especially when he was about to like leave Band of Hawks, you see like the moon waning, and that tells me like, oh, I think Guts is not necessarily losing hope in Griffith, but he's losing his like loyalty for Griffith, and that kind of like led up to Guts leaving the Band of Hawks as well. But an interesting thing that I also like noticed is that after Guts left, after he beat Griffith in his own like duel, whenever the Band of Hawks refer to Guts, you always see the moon in the background as well, and that like tells me that Guts became the Griffith for the Band of Hawks. He became the same way that Guts sees Griffith as like this shining hope in the darkness. They see Guts the same way. And I just thought that was like, and again, I may be just like seeing things where things are not even there. I'm just like, maybe just like stretching it. I just thought that was like an interesting thing that I noticed. But it's also like really interesting that you think that Griffith is like a lot more interesting than Guts, because from what I've seen so far, Guts is already like a really like nuanced character as is.
Well, I don't mean that, and when I say that, I don't mean that he's more interesting in terms of character writing, or that Miura did a better job at writing Griffith. I just mean like I just admire people like Guts. I mean, sorry, Griffith. I just really admire like really ambitious people like that. I just think it's really badass the way he's just fucking literally started from nothing, and now he's fucking literally climbing his social ladder, like to the point where he's like,
I feel
mingling with kingdoms and shit.
I feel like Guts is also like a parallel to that in a sense, because he starts like when you think about it, Guts is literally a child born from a fucking like corpse hanging from a tree, and he's like perceived as like this misfortune a child that's gonna bring like disaster and whatever, and yet through all that pain and suffering, he like has like this immovable will to just keep on going. He literally survived the impossible through his birth. He did the impossible and he still survived when his fucking like mom was like hanging. And you see this like constantly throughout his arc. Like take him and Gambino as an example. The way that I depict I interpreted the reason why Guts chooses a sword that's like twice his size is not only because he wants to like prove to Gambino that he's like worth someone to like respect or like look at or acknowledge, but also because he's at that age where he's like very impressionable, and he wants to like impress Gambino, and he wants to like also get his love and respect and attention, but also because I feel like Gambino genuinely believes that Guts is this misfortune child and is like the core reason why his wife died. And therefore, he uses Guts and he gives... It's never a showcase, but I feel like it's implied that Gambino purposely forces Guts to use a sword twice his size as a way of punishing him. And instead of like, instead of being like, oh, woe is me, life is hard, Guts fucking takes that and owns it. He takes that sword and makes it a part of his like struggle. And you see that constantly. Like that idea, like he is willing to overcome any situation or struggle. And another example that comes to mind is when he became not necessarily disowned, but when he left his previous team or band, or when he got like outcasted or whatever, Guts was at the bottom of a hill, ready to like lay down and die. He was ready to accept death. He was at his worst, at his weakest. And there was a pack of wolves just like ready to like pounce on him and like eat him alive. And Guts was like okay with the idea of dying. He at that point he had nothing. he indirectly ended up killing Gambino out of self-defense, which is the whole thing I'll get into eventually in a bit. I mean, and he was willing to accept death. And as that moment where the wolves were about to attack Guts, he just instinctively reacts and fights back. He's always in a state of like instinctively trying to survive, no matter what it is he's in. Even though I have like this impression that he generally just does not want to be alive, and that's why maybe he like purposely puts himself in situations where it may cause him a greater risk of like dying. He still like instinctually fights death to like to tooth and nail. Interject by all means.
Yes. I will say Berserk is the best Nietzschean story out there. And without saying too much, I'm going to send you, when you finish, I'm going to send you this video essay from this philosophy YouTuber about how Berserk is a Nietzschean tragedy. But yeah, I'm gonna wait till you finish it because it's got spoilers in it. But it's this great video. I will say that yeah, the number one thing I think about whenever I think about Berserk is the will to power, and I think you nailed it when you said that. Yeah, like yeah, Griffith is ambitious and all that, right? But Guts has his own vitality in his own way, and the way I see it is like yeah, they're both expressions of the will to power, except for like fundamentally, I think Berserk is a story about ambition versus maybe self fulfillment. I think Griffith embodies the former, and Guts embodies the latter.
I can see that, yeah.
So Griffith is very concerned with like climbing the
like the social ladder,
literally gaining his not just social power, but also literally just power in general, like as much as he possibly can. But Guts, he just has so much misfortune thrown against him. Like he's just constantly trying to survive, and it's like these two very different explorations of what does it mean to different interpretations of what power can be. Like power doesn't necessarily have to be like this social force where you like take power over others and you exert your will over to others. It could also just be surviving, you know. And like there's also like the question of contentment. You know, are you really gonna gain contentment from just climbing up and up and up and just trying to always chase something? Are you gonna gain contentment from that, or is there also a way to gain contentment from just living day to day and just trying to get by as best as you can, and just cherishing those connections you find along the way? I think Guts like embodies this idea of like this Nietzschean affirmation of like just like accepting your suffering and realizing that it was necessary to be where you're at right now, and that there's gonna be more suffering, but like what can you do about it? Just keep on going. And like it as the story goes on, you're gonna see like it's Guts literally just trying to fucking literally at some point just fucking trying to fight back against fate, literally fate, and like gods and shit. And it's like he's just some guy trying to get by.
Yeah, that's the thing I was gonna point out. Guts is just a man.
Yeah.
He's not some like super fucking being god main character.
This gets highlighted even more later on in the story, as I won't say anything, but it's very explicit later on. I'll say that.
And it's like
somehow he fucking manages to survive.
Not just that, like he manages to survive. He manages to acquire like strength that is like beyond human level, out of like pure just like willpower to like just survive.
Mm-hmm. And notice like it's very different from Griffith, where like he doesn't do it to like receive some kind of recognition or like dominance over others. He's just trying to fucking get by. He's just trying to survive. And like yeah, you're right to point out that you know both Griffith and Guts came out from literally nothing, from the bottom of the barrel, and they both climb up, but they both have very different ideas about what it means to survive. And I think ultimately like Berserk does mingle with the idea that maybe Griffith's path is just a dead end. Like the true fulfillment and contentment does not come from necessarily like chasing after things. Once you finally like almost let go of the steering wheel, that's when in a weird way that's when life really opens up itself to you. And like, yeah, right now you see Griffith chasing after something, like the power or whatever. But later on, after the eclipse, Guts is gonna be on his own journey to chase relentlessly after something, and you're gonna see what that is. And he's also gonna find out it's a dead end. And he's gonna be asking, well, what can I do instead then? If I can't attain this, what do I do?
So you found like a different purpose, like greater purpose beyond just the thing he's been chasing.
Maybe not a greater purpose, but just a different purpose.
Mm.
He gets his worldview challenged.
Oh, I see. Another thing that I really like admire about the manga is it's not afraid to take it slow. Like it takes a long time developing, the characters, developing the world, developing the struggle, developing even what it is that Griffith is trying to acquire. Like I don't even know what it is he's trying to acquire. I feel like 50 chapters in and I still like know nothing. And it's such a like a rarity thing in media or literature where like people are just so afraid to just let people like
let the world breathe.
Yeah. Like let them be and let like nature take its course. And I feel like Mura is his name, right? Mura,
yeah.
Like acknowledges and respects the audience to like be able to like just be patient and just like soak in the like the world and the moments for what it is. It's just like his writing style is super interesting. How he is not afraid to just like take it slow, and I really respect that. Like I really admire that. And it's just like the little nuances in his like visual writing as well. Like I think that a lot of things that I admire about Guts is the smaller details in his like way he like presents himself. Like the detail that I really noticed is his relationships with tents.
I never noticed.
So if as you're aware, his two worst like experiences happened within a tent.
Oh wow, you're right.
He got like sexually assaulted as a kid. His father figure nearly killed him for fucking like dumb reasons, and you see him like being like kind of like traumatized by that experience to the point that he never feels safe being inside of a tent. Whenever Guts is drawn inside of a tent, he's never seen laying in a bed or anything. He's always drawn crouching in the corner, holding his fucking sword, because that's the only thing that makes him feel like attached to not just like Gambino, but his only source of like safety net. It makes him.
Sorry, go ahead.
It makes him feel like he's no longer vulnerable. And like, another like example is like whenever they're celebrating, he's never seen inside of a tent, or whenever everyone's like sleeping, he's never seen inside of a tent. He's always seen off in the distance, off like some corner to himself. And initially I thought that, oh, he's just very like distant. He likes to keep to himself. But I think ultimately he hates the idea of feeling vulnerable to any capacity, that he will reject the idea of entering a place like a tent that just holds all these like negative experiences and emotions. It's like the fact that Miura can like portray that without even saying a single word, just by visuals, just like tells his capacity as a writer.
Berserk is probably the best media I've experienced that explores trauma, and it gets even more pronounced later on. It gets really fucking sad later on, but you have to wait and see. Well, I was gonna say earlier, yeah, I never noticed that the tent thing, but also I remember I have a image stuck in my mind of when Guts as a child, like sleeping, hugging his sword, and I think we talked about this at some point. I think it might have been whenever I was reading it for the first time, and I think maybe you might have checked out like one chapter or two.
No, I've never checked it out.
Okay. Well, we were talking about this. We were like, yeah, I was just pointing out how like Guts is like hugging his sword because it's like the safety thing for him. Yeah, you're the one who put this idea into my head. You're the one who suggested, first of all, that a sword is like a safety thing for him. Like it's kind of fucked up, but it's like how children feel safe around plushies, teddy bears. It's fucked up, but that's the world he lives in. A sword is like his little safety thing.
Yeah, and also like it really like sells the point that Guts only knows fighting. and he finds comfort in the idea of fighting because that's what he was like brought into, and like that sword not only like brings him comfort because of that, because it makes him feel safe, but also because it connects him to Gambino. Like even when Gambino specifically states, "Yeah, man, I sold you off. You got fucking sexually assaulted because I let it." Guts never acknowledges that. He rejects that because of his like love for Gambino, and you see that love like still like seep through by him holding the sword, because it's like a reminder of what he had, a father figure, now long gone by his own blade. And it's like tragic. It's like you're the reason he's gone in many ways, but it's not his fault. He was deemed a cursed child. His wife died because supposedly some weird fucking like bullshit that Guts caused. Supposedly, Gambino went like psycho mode. Decided to like do all these things to Guts, but Guts was never at fault. He was just a victim since birth.
Yeah, he keeps being a victim later on. Oh, Berserk is like fundamentally a story about like living in a world that constantly hurts you. How do you move on? How do you find contentment in a world that's constantly literally out to get you? And you're carrying like the weight of the past. And you're like, sometimes you just can't move forward. How do you do it? I think Guts is like such a fucking awesome character.
Oh yeah,
Awesome, very inspiring. And like it's cool too because like you see that he's capable of love.
oh yeah.
Like he's genuinely like this. You're gonna see it later on pronounced even more. Like he's just this. You can see like a very mushy core beneath all those walls he puts up, and as the story goes on, those walls get even thicker. But also, despite that, you still see there's something inside there. That there's something inside there that's just too hurt to come out. He just can't trust. And like that connects that specific panel. What's the chapter? At the end of that first segment of the story, whenever it's
He's
that
like
single
crying.
teardrop. Yeah, no, not even single teardrop.
He's
He's crying
just, like
after.
frowning.
Yeah, after the girl says like, "I fucking hate you. I hope you fucking die. I'm gonna kill you one day."
I have a whole page
There it
dedicated to
is.
that. You want to
Yes,
read it
yes,
out?
yes.
So I have for our audience at home, I have 2 pages worth, or a whole page worth of just a single panel, a single panel of Guts just like frowning. Chapter 8. We see Guts having an expression of sadness in his face at the end of the chapter, something that we've never seen him show up until that point. This occurred after Teresa proclaimed her hatred towards Guts, and how she will act out her revenge to kill him someday. And I think what this face is trying to convey is in a delusional, twisted way, Guts truly believes in the things he says and does, not as the correct thing to do in life, but just in a way where he can contextualize in his head that makes sense. When Guts suggests to Teresa to kill herself, there's no hatred or malice or ill will in his words. His words are genuine in trying to sympathize with her in his own way. Why put up with the pain and suffering when there's a clear out for her, and go to heaven after, or perhaps even to be reunited with her parents in hell? After all, she has those options available. Guts doesn't. He's branded, and even if he wanted to end his suffering by ending his life, a literal eternity of hell only awaits him afterwards. He gets sad after the whole interaction because ultimately, whether Guts wants to admit it or not, he took down a tyrant ruler who was sacrificing humans under the guise of killing heretics. This benefits the land, and yet the king's daughter hates him for killing her father, even after becoming aware of what he was doing to their people. It's a complicated situation that Guts finds himself where he doesn't want to hurt anyone and yet ends up hurting everyone. On top of giving Teresa newfound meaning in life, moments after she was fuck it, I can't read my own words.
Can't read your own handwriting.
Oh, uh, on top of giving Teresa newfound meaning in life, moments after she was claiming and wanting to kill herself, where again she will dedicate her life seeking her revenge. And I think what I was trying to convey here is that, in a weird, like twisted way, Guts indirectly gave Teresa new found purpose in life, and that's seeking her revenge, killing Guts. It's not the most fucking like pretty goal to have in life, but it's a goal nonetheless. And I think in a weird like fucking like innocent childlike way, Guts thinks of that, and he's like he can't like understand why he feels why someone who has like he can't understand why he someone who gave so much like purpose in life still feels hatred towards him or something like that. That's what I was trying to get at. I wrote this early on in chapter 8. I was under the impression that Guts had like this childlike wonder or like childlike mindset initially, but I don't know, looking back I think that impression is like alluding to something more that I'm just not aware of at the moment.
Guts has seen too much. Too much. Yeah, I really don't have much to add on that, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think you nailed it.
Yeah? I mean, I can still keep going.
Oh, you're not done?
I can still keep going.
No, I mean, you're not done with the chapter?
Oh, no.
Notes? Okay. So
no.
what the fuck? Jeez. Okay, yeah, go ahead. I thought you were done with that one panel.
Oh, no, I'm done with
okay.
one panel. I'm really enjoying Berserk. And I'm getting like glimpses on why people proclaim this as like the best piece of like art fiction ever. I still have like my gripes though.
Mm-hmm.
And this may change down the line because I'm still early on the story. I think my biggest gripe right now is how Miura depicts women.
I'm nodding my head for the audience that can't see.
Like it seems like a lot of the time women, especially early on, are there for be like sexually deprived fiends, and they take out that like frustration on people, or B, being a damsel of distress, as a lot of stories tend to be, which don't really add a lot of a lot of like nuance to the overall narrative, or C, a tool for the sake of increasing enhancing a tool for the sake of heightening a certain character's like I guess quality. An example would be like Casca. I think Casca is a phenomenal character. I love Casca for what she is, and like how Miura depicts the troubles of being a woman during a fucking like war. How like she can like get like periods during fucking like mid battle, and it's like a hindrance as a woman being in a fucking like battlefield of men where you can like literally be like overpowered. But I also feel like Casca doesn't feel like a character a lot of the time. She feels like a tool for the sake of just increasing Griffith's own character. And this is just like early on, so maybe that can like change. I don't know. I just
there's more to be told about Casca. I'll say that.
Okay, and I'll hold off on that because I'm sure I
have you got to the part where they have sex yet? Guts and Casca?
No. No, I was not. No.
Well, I mean, you're already aware that they get together, anyways, right?
No.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say it's a very beautiful scene.
Okay.
It's weird because like they're just having sex, but so beautiful. Maybe you just want to cry, but you'll realize what I mean when you actually get there.
Oh, you just reminded me. Like another thing, like Griffith, after he loses a fight with Guts, his first action is to go meet the princess and bang her. And some would say that maybe Griffith is becoming like desperate and trying to like make his like plan move forward faster. I would argue that maybe that's his Guts trying to like proclaim some of his honor as a man that he lost during that battle.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's like it hurt his pride.
Yeah. Exactly. It goes back to that. He's just Griffith is different from Guts in the sense that Griffith wants recognition. He wants to be recognized that yes, I am powerful. Guts is just trying to fucking survive. He's trying to do what's best for himself.
Yeah, I think it's that, but I also argue that Guts also wants to be recognized. I think being recognized is just fundamentally a human nature trait to have.
Recognized by different people, though. Like, Guts wants to be recognized by his loved ones, the people that he's already close to. Griffith wants to be recognized by, he's like, the world fucking owes him something. He's like, I want the fucking world to bow down to me.
I guess that makes more sense. The parallels between the two.
And it gets a lot more pronounced. Again, you'll find out later on, but you'll see what I mean.
And also, speaking of parallels, I really like how distinct both Griffith and Guts are in every possible way, down to their visuals.
It's cool because usually, if you were to show Berserk to somebody who doesn't know anything about manga, you would assume that Griffith's the good guy, Guts is the bad guy.
I think, I can definitely see that, yeah.
And that panel. Matter of fact, I'll pull it up right now where they're dueling. There's literally a very obvious visual metaphor. Pull it up right quick. Right here. So I'm trying to find the black and white one. There we go. Yeah. You see it?
Mm-hmm.
So the light is on Guts and the darkness is on Griffith.
Oh wow.
You see the shadows on Griffith?
Yeah.
The sun's hitting Guts.
I didn't make that connection.
Right there. He's in the shadow.
Yeah. Or yeah, no, you're right. I didn't make that connection initially. It's
such a beautiful manga.
I'm not looking.
No, I was gonna say I don't think Mira's art style has reached its peak yet. Also, what do you think about the art?
I thought the first chapters were fucking amazing. Not amazing, but really well done. Considering that this was his first take on doing manga, I think. But it just fucking kept going and kept improving, and
it only gets better.
I'm like, how the fuck is one man? How the fuck is he able to draw all this?
It only gets better. It's fucking crazy. Granted, he had a team of people, but still, though, how the fuck? Jesus Christ.
Yeah, man. I'm going through my pictures to see if anything comes to mind.
Gatsu. Why didn't you call him Guts? He's got guts.
I was gonna say that. Yeah. I don't know actually. I think it's just Japan's way. For whatever reason, Japanese have this really weird interest in adding English words into their stories. That's why the letter X is such a prominent thing in titles in Japan. Because it's just a cool thing. Oh my god, X!
Hunter x Hunter.
Exactly. It's it doesn't mean anything. It sounds cool and it looks cool. I think Japanese people are just so fascinated.
They're English boos.
Exactly.
Anglo.
But I don't know. Maybe Guts does fucking mean something. I don't fucking know.
You know what term kind of fell out of favor? Weeaboos. Nobody talks about weeaboos anymore. Now it's just cool to anime, I think.
I still hear the term weeb.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just been shortened to weeb. It's never used as weeaboo.
That's true. I never realized that. Even then, I feel now it's more endearing than it used to be. It's not really an insult anymore.
There goes one moon.
Whoa.
So there's one moon right there.
Griffith.
Is that it? Oh, what? Did I not save the other ones? It's in my fucking computer. God damn it. But yeah.
Gatsu.
You want to hear the voice recordings that I have?
Yeah.
A thing that I noticed, and again, this may be just a stretch, but
what's this music for?
The moon.
Who's just this?
Talks about Griffith a lot of the time. The moon is always seen somewhere. It's either in the background or just it's very subtle. It's not in your face, but every time Guts talks about Griffith in some capacity, the moon is always there. And the thing that I noticed is that when Guts left the band Hawks, there is this one panel where the team are talking about Guts, but they never refer to Guts as by his name. They just refer to him, if only he was here. And when they're referring to Guts, you can see the moon in the background, And again, this may be just a weird coincidence, but I think the moon in this story represents like people's hopes in the darkness. And how they see Guts as like their new Griffin. Because at this point,
That's it.
I like to
proven that
think
he is stronger than
I like to think that the music just starts playing as soon as you start musing.
That'd be amazing.
The jumps
actually.
kicked in whenever you got to the punchline of your
Yeah,
metaphor.
it kind of did, didn't it? It was.
The moon represents.
I felt like I was like it was like a video essay at that point.
Yeah.
The timing was incredible. I didn't plan that, by the way. It just kind of happened.
Okay.
Wait, what is this?
my one biggest criticism.
Oh yeah, I just talked about that.
Oh my god, I just had a fucking like epiphany with Guts'
Revelation.
character. So Guts is always shown
The 10th, yeah.
being like when
Casca hair.
Casca has been shown with short hair to the point that I've mistaken her for a man, or not a man, just like a younger Dunspan initially when she wasn't introduced. And for the entirety of like the first, I want to say 30-ish chapters, she has had that same hairstyle up until like one of the later chapters where she sees Griffith essentially not flirting, but more so swaying one of the princesses of the kingdom for his own personal gain. And what I noticed is that she has gradually let her hair grow out a bit. It's very subtle, but the differences is definitely there. She looks a lot more feminine ever since that whole debacle. I don't know. I think that's just an interesting detail that I noticed.
Nothing crazy. Just I don't know. Just something.
So
But yeah, I think that's as far as I can add to Berserk.
Remember when you said, "Oh, we can't fit it under 4 hours. We can't do it."
It's been 3 hours.
We still got one more segment to go.
And to be fair, I had to cut out an entirely whole section for Omori, which I actually planned on talking the whole.
Fuck Omori.
God, I really want to talk about the spoiler.
You guys just had to make a good game.
Yep.
Fuck that up.
Yep.
Let me down.
But yeah, you want to add anything else to?
I'm just surprised you didn't make it as far as I was expecting. The way you were talking about it, I thought you fucking got to the end or something.
Okay, I won't deny that there were like a small like period where I was just kind of like not in the mood to read Berserk, especially like in the first like earlier like before the time skip reversal, whatever you want to call it, the flashback.
What's the reverse of a time jump?
Flashback?
Or time skip?
Yeah, before the flashback, I couldn't read Berserk, man. I was just like, the thing about me is that I tend to space out when there's like a lot of action going on, because action to me is inherently very fucking boring. It's just people duking it out. I don't find enjoyment in when people are fighting, because there's nothing much going on. So and there's a lot of fucking fighting in the first like couple of chapters. And they don't really add to anything. It's just all for the sake of just being cool and looking cool. And it was just like a struggle to like get through that initially. So I spent a lot of time not reading Berserk. But once I got to the point where it got to the flashback, that's when the story really like kicked into high gear. And I was just like reading it nonstop.
Doesn't sound like it because you keep fucking yawning, asshole.
What do you mean? I'm tired. I haven't slept.
No, I'm just kidding.
But yeah, I will continue reading Berserk more. I'm like interested where this goes, for sure.
Now you don't make me feel as bad about not getting as far into Fata Morgana, because it doesn't seem like you got that far into Berserk.
But I feel like I spent way more time in Berserk than you did with Fata Morgana. Those fucking chapters are long as shit, man.
Those fucking doors are long as shit.
Yeah, but you spent like what, 5 hours, 6 hours max?
It's a hard game, okay? I got stuck. I got stuck, okay? Don't blame me.
The game in question, clicking, click.
No, not even click, just spacebar.
But yeah,
we do have one more segment, which is the Short form content. Oh wait, no.
No. No.
We skipped one. Wait, which one comes first? That one or the other one?
The recommend.
Oh, okay.
So I have a proposition.
Yeah.
Do you think you're able to, for me to give you a second recommendation on top of Fata Morgana?
Depends what it is.
Even if it's like short, if it's on the shorter end.
Is it like what medium is it?
Anime. I have anime in my head.
How long is it?
12 episodes.
That's fine.
You think you can manage that?
I could just toss aside Arcane and put it right there.
Okay, in that case,
Yes.
I have a question for you then.
Huh.
Are you in the mood for something with a lot of layers and profound and a lot of fucking like questions that are gonna leave you unanswered? Or do you want something?
Or give me an option.
Yeah.
Oh.
Or do you want something a bit more chill?
More chill. I think it'd be a funny contrast between Fata Morgana and something goofy.
Okay. In that case, I recommend you a little anime called Bocchi the Rock.
Bocchi the Rock?
Bocchi the Rock. I'm gonna send you into an adventure.
Whoa, she's got a guitar. That's cool.
Oh yeah, this is a music.
It's 2024.
Yeah, it's pretty recent.
I'm reading the premise. It sounds fucking cool.
The second season got announced not too long ago. There's no English dub, unfortunately. It's all in Japanese. It's 12 episodes.
What's this about?
Don't worry about it. You'll get to experience that soon enough. It's a slice of life anime.
Oh, sick, awesome. Can't wait.
But yeah. Just have yourself a good time. Hang out with these characters. Jam out to the music.
What do you think I'll pull from it?
I don't think you're gonna pull much out of it. Do you want a quick like rundown on what it is?
Yeah.
So Bocchi the Rock's main premise is that Bocchi, the main character with the pink hair, she has been fascinated by music from a young age, to the point that she has like forced herself to become like very proficient at the guitar.
How old is she in this story?
16, I believe. Probably 15. I'm not entirely sure. And she's been like playing the guitar since she was like a kid. And the thing is, her whole reasoning behind trying to like learn the guitar is because she saw a group of band artists on TV who were like really good at music, but they're also introverted as shit. and Bocchi is like naturally very introverted to the point that she has insane social anxiety. So her logic was, oh, if I learn guitar, people will like naturally gravitate towards me. People will like naturally want to talk to me, and I'll be able to like make friends. It's not as simple as that, unfortunately. No. But
as every young person finds out.
But it's like an interesting story on how to deal with like social anxiety and like how to like form relationships in those circumstances. It's fucking zany and wacky as shit, but there's like a layer of like groundedness to it as well that I appreciate. Cool. Right. I think you'll enjoy it a lot.
It sounds like I will, yeah.
Yeah.
Have you heard about Beck? I think it's a manga. It's also like a band guitar manga.
It sounds oddly familiar.
Yeah, well, I've had that one recommended to me as well before in the past.
Oh, I thought you were gonna recommend that.
No. That'd be funny if we both recommended music things. No, I thought about that. It sounds like in that kind of vein, they're both about music. So interesting. Okay. Well, Fabian, I am recommending to you. Want me to say it again?
No, you're good.
Okay. I am recommending to you season 1 of True Detective.
True Detective.
Yep, I've talked about this before to you.
I feel like you have, yeah.
So again, you're only gonna watch season 1 because every season is like its own standalone story. And from what I've heard, I haven't seen the rest of the seasons, but I've heard they're not very good. However, everybody talks very highly of season 1, and I agree with them. It's just very well written. The reason I want to recommend it to you is because I think it's gonna be a good accompaniment to Berserk because they both deal with like this nihilism and pessimism and this suffering in the world, and it's like, how do you view past that? So the premise is it's just about these two detectives. Um, they deal murder cases, so it's very grounded. It's set in Tennessee, so they deal with like these very fucked up cases where like there's girls being mutilated, and then they have to investigate all these religious weirdos, and then there's like uh, child trafficking involved. So it's like it's very much like they're in this very gritty, fucked up environment, and then like the main character who is Rust, he's just this very intense, brooding character because he's seen a lot of fucked up shit. Not just all the violent stuff, but also before he worked in that as a detective, he was like an undercover cop, I think for the FBI. So that means like he had to like go undercover like a lot of like drug groups, drug trafficking groups. That means he had to take like a lot of drugs just to like fit in. So he's got like all the fucked up shit he's seen in that. Plus all the fucking murder shit and all the different cases of abuses he's seen. Yeah, I see him as a very similar character to Guts. They both carry a lot of like they've seen a lot of fucked up shit. And they both carry a lot with them, and they both have their own respective traumas and experiences with loss and all that. And the question is, how do you move forward? Also low key, like one reason I wanted to show you this one too is because like Russ, it reminds me of you in the past when I first met you at P4C. A lot more he's very pessimistic. He references like Nietzsche and Schopenhauer and all these like pessimistic philosophers because he's got like this very specific outlook on the world, and it reminds me of like early Fabian when I met you. A lot more pessimistic, a lot more like not necessarily hopeless, but like being like, I guess just I don't know, just frustrated, defeated,
aimless.
Like, yeah.
Wait, how long is this?
Oh, sorry, it's 8 episodes long.
Oh, okay.
Each one is 1 hour long, so 8 hours.
Okay, I can do that.
Yeah.
The battery's running low.
Oh shit, we gotta hurry up. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, it's gonna die quick. Yeah, we gotta hurry up. Fuck. It's gonna die like any second now. Okay. Let's just move on because this is gonna die soon. Any second now.
You should probably like hurry.
All right. Last segment is short form recommendations. So you go first. Cause I just went. What are you recommending to the people at home?
Yeah. So there's this channel called oh shit, I don't think I have it here or whatever. I get it memorized. It's a channel called Al the Boy spelled as in BOI. He's a channel that dedicates his time analyzing Sonic content. And his most recent video, the Magic of Sonic Stories, I believe it's called, or the Beauty of Sonic Stories. I forget the exact title. It is fucking phenomenal, and it's not even it's less about Sonic and more so about like how story structures work in most media, and how they don't necessarily affect Sonic as a character. Like sometimes Sonic is not there to like learn to become a better person or like learn to have some sort of development. The stories are there for Sonic to teach us lessons.
Wow.
He doesn't grow, change. His convictions are solid as shit. So it's 18 minutes long. The editing is fucking insane. And the guy will just take you for a ride. He talks about fucking Spider-Man, about Sonic, about life, about fucking God knows what. He talks about fucking everything. It's beautiful. And I cried.
Send me that when you get the chance.
Oh yeah. Curious. It's fucking beautiful. It's a beautiful video.
All right, mine is this video I showed you actually. We talked about it a little bit. It's just this guy talking to the camera. It's called Just Exist Bro by somebody called Asela Robinson. It's literally just some guy talking to the camera, and I think the
same video that I watched.
Pretty sure, yeah.
The one you sent me.
Yeah, pretty sure. Because I also watched a different one by him, but I'm not sure if I sent you that one or whatever.
No.
It's just talking about mindfulness, more or less. I don't want to. meander too much. I think I struggle a lot with being present. Like, especially now because I'm so busy. I'm just constantly running around trying to do something. Well, not trying to. I am doing something. I'm like, always, whatever. You know, I have a problem with chilling out. I struggle with chilling out.
Mm-hmm.
But in a weird way, this guy telling me to just exist, just chill out. It's a somehow just a very profound challenge to me. Like he's not positing anything difficult per se. He's just literally just saying just chill out, just exist with your thoughts. And like something as simple as that, I think it's fascinating how like something as simple as that can be like such a challenge to me.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, it can be very transformative. Like he points out how there's like two people in the world, and you know, one are doers, the other ones are people who can just be. And there's like a strange, like initially, it's very tempting for us to think that you know people who do things are the ones doing amazing things, whatever, you know, worth acknowledging. Oh fuck.
Sorry about that,
Thank
folks.
you. But the way he talks about people who just are, there's like a certain mystique to them. There's certain like power to them. Like imagine just being so at peace with yourself and where you are in life that you can just be.
Mm-hmm.
Like somehow you can be so still. Oh my god, just scared me. Somehow this stillness is so admirable. I'm not sure what it is. Just this ability to just be and not do anything. It's something very powerful in that and not doing anything.
I'm sorry, I just had to record the turkeys.
Oh shit. Those are ducks, not turkeys.
Ah, fuck.
Yeah, I don't know what turkeys would be. Those are ducks. Sorry to disappoint you. I shouldn't have said anything.
Anyways.
Yeah, that's really it.
How long is the video?
10 minutes.
Okay, we'll be linking these videos down the description anyways.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just chill out. You know, don't take life too seriously. That's the main takeaway, I would say.
I'll watch that once I get home for sure.
Okay. I'll watch yours too. Maybe not today, but at some point. Well, is that it?
You tell me, you're the host.
I think so, because my fucking shit's about to die any fucking minute. Yeah, it's funny too, because I was like, I contemplated being a charge, but I was like, we won't need it. It'll be fine. I came with full battery. I charged it beforehand. I was like, we're fine.
Get to know the limit is 3 hours then.
Okay, yeah. It's also a shitty battery too, so like, I'm surprised it lasted that long, if anything.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's it really. I don't have an outro prepared. Thank you to our fans. Thank you for the kind words of encouragement.
And once again, our sponsors, Hikikomori.
And Panda Express. Look out for that Hikikomori and Panda Express collaboration coming soon.
Oh yeah, deep down Hikikomori, it's gonna go hard.
Deep down in Panda Express Hikikomori.
Oh, man, what a collab.
It's just gonna be us working for Panda Express.
Oh my god. The theme is
wearing Hikikomori merch. That's it.
Well, talking about fiction media.
Or maybe talking about Panda Express while wearing deep down merch and working for Hikikomori.
Oh god. Alright, Ed. Time is off.
Thank you for listening. We'll see you on the next episode of Deep Down.
Goodbye.
The skies ahead are vast and clear. I hold my breath, step up a gear, feel the wind, smell the air. Chances are everywhere. Our sights are set beyond the moon. begin.